行ってきまーす。
Hello and welcome back to Bottom. My name is Beast. Today we're back with 99. For those who didn't see the video yesterday, got a new phone now. And one big advantage of this phone is because my old one broke. I didn't want to have to buy this. However, here I am. However, one advantage I have to say this phone has, it fits so well. Both on lock screen. Oh, let me just grab this, I guess, and just make a third site to be able to fully appreciate it. It fits so well. As literally the exact dimensions of this picture, even down to the rounded corners. It fits so well. And I'm into it. I'm not even ashamed. Quite the opposite even. So yeah, new phone without this. Oh, fuck, hold on. Forgot to grab the goddamn charger. I need to buy a new charger for that still, because my old phone had a different charger. So I need to go buy a longer charger at some point. Also, I don't know how long I'll be recording today, since tomorrow I have to get up at 10 AM for my first vaccine shot, since I'll be finally getting vaccinated. As for what vaccination, I don't quite remember right now. Hold on, let me just open this real quick. Also, my fingers are feeling slightly sticky from my chips from earlier. I bet it helps more than nothing. Anyways, let me just real quick, bop. Skip boop bop boop bow. I don't even know what I'm doing. Xiaomi Corporation. Bayimco. There we go. Let's log in first. Not to check. There we go. Nose. Should be telling me which one. Moderna. That's the one. Niade, apparently. Anyways. So yeah, I'll be getting the first shot for that tomorrow, which means need to get up early today. Second off, I'll probably be dead tomorrow. Especially since I don't handle needles well. Anyways.
いってらっしゃい。気をつけろよ。
Just like yesterday, I see Sora off. She was back to her usual self this morning, but I still found myself asking her again if there really wasn't anything wrong. Needless to say, she just brushed me off. I know she's worked up over something, but I'm still hesitant to push her on it. We're in such a complicated mess here that I can't afford to act rashly. But is it really being rash if all I'm doing is worrying about Sora? Will that really be putting things at risk? It's clear now how Sophie has been so selective. It's clearer now why Sophie has been so selective with what information she tells us. The burden of knowledge can be a terrible thing. And paralyzed by our thoughts, we become too cautious, hesitating when we should be taking action. Yeah, what am I gonna do? I head back to the living room and sit down on my bed. For now, I should just focus on what I need to do. For whatever reason, my petrification has been healing more rapidly recently, and now my wrists and ankle are free. Meaning I can finally take what's left of these pants off. The only spot remaining is my petrified shoe. Maybe the petrification healed faster because I slept all day yesterday? I'm not sure. But if I'm lucky, I'll be fully healed by tomorrow. I'll probably only need to call Mom once or twice more. I should be able to convince her not to come. Pick up my phone and call home.
もしもし、新見です。
ああ、母さん。かけるです。
ちょっとなんで名前言うのよ。人のネタ潰さないでよね。
母さんのネタしつこいんだよ。悪いけど、今日も学校に電話しといてくれるかな。
あんたまだ具合悪いの？
多分今日で治ると思う。
早く治しなさいよ。というか、そう。あなた言いなさいよ。
何を？
なんで彼女できたこと黙ってたの？
はあ？彼女？
昨日来たわよ。うちに。お見舞いにって。
うちって、そっちに？てか、
だから彼女よ。
いやいや、いないし、彼女なんて。
なんでそんな嘘つくの？
いや、本当にいねえし。
でも来たのよ、昨日。
名前は？
名前、なんだったかしらね。聞いたんだけど。
誰だよ。なんか怖いな。
There's no way it was Kujum. She has no reason to visit my parents' house, and she doesn't even know where it is. Same reasoning rules out Kozaka and Yuki. Ghost? No, if she was back, Sylvia would have told me. Can't think of anyone else it might be. Anyone who'd come to my parents' house and call herself my girlfriend has to be a stalker. Give it in the creeps.
名前は思い出せないんだけど、ほら、髪の毛、こうね。
いや、見えないし、こうじゃわかんないし。
なんだか印象の薄い子だったわね。思い出せないわ。結んでたのよ、後ろ。横で？
結んでる？
そう、多分。
何時頃？
何時かは忘れたけど、暗くなる前？
暗くなる前って。
空
もいたでしょ。
ん？誰？
Oh. What a coincidence that I, after breaking my phone yesterday, decided to sit down in the living room and watch Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Because this sure feels familiar!
空だよ。
ああ、そう。空ちゃんよ、名前。
は？
あんたの彼女、空ちゃんよ。そうだったはず、多分。
いや、何言ってんの？その冗談は無理があるでしょ。
そっちこそ何言ってんのよ。可愛い彼女ね。印象薄いけど、いつから付き合ってるの？
本気で言ってる？
あら、本当に彼女じゃないの？ストーカー？
彼女でもストーカーでもない。
じゃあ何よ。
妹だよ。
ああ、そう。お兄ちゃんって言ってた。あなた彼女になんて呼ばせてるの？変な趣味ね。
Alright, you fucking say that one more time. You fucking say that one more time. I know this! Don't you fucking say it if the game isn't gonna fucking adhere to it! Ah! Is this the whole like, like her being his sister is actually going to play into the story that could be completely avoided? Like, thinking about it, I had this conversation with someone who's probably going to be watching this. Hi, about how apparently the little sister, like Sora being's little sister, is going to play into the story. So it'd be weird for it to not to be. And so I just went like, I mean, the writer still decided to do that. So that doesn't make it any better. And then like a few days later, I remember the same person has complained about the way they handle the situation with Oshito in Mask of Truth. I'm not gonna like specify what I mean by that, but when I said that how the characters handle that makes sense in the in the context of the story, and he used the exact same argument of, I mean, they still decided to write it like that. And like only like a few days after this conversation was I like, hold on. So it was mildly funny to me.
いや、いいよ。学校に連絡お願いね。
はいはい。彼女のことちゃんと聞かせなさいよ。
いつかね。
I hang up and throw my phone onto the bed.
ソフィー。ソフィー!
I call out to her. Though it only takes a few seconds to appear, it feels like ages. By the time she's arrived, I'm at my wit's end.
なーに？切羽詰まった顔ね。
非常事態だ。
簡潔に話して。
母さんが空のことを忘れてる。
確かなの？
演技とは思えなかった。
そう。確かに非常事態ね。
I do like how they're not like faffing about with this. It's literally just like, Sophie, what's the situation? Why is a pale emergency situation? Mother forgot about her own daughter. That is a problem.
存在が消えると記憶も消えるだったよな。
ええ。
ゴーストじゃなく空にもその現象が起こっている。
Sophie doesn't respond, but I already know the answer. There's only one thing that's
空の力が暴走してるってことだよな。
目に見える力じゃないから気づくのが遅れたわね。対抗力の弱い人間をそばに置いておくべきだった。もっとも気づいてもすぐには対処できないけれど。
霊薬ってやつすぐに用意できないのか？
無理よ。あと数日はかかる。
ストックとかないのかよ。前に使ったやつ。
前って1000年近く前のことよ。ないわよストックなんて。
くそ。
アンブロシアが完成するまで空のことを認識し続ける。あなたにできることはそれだけよ。
それだけって。
But as I'm shouting that, I come to a realization. Sophie suggested keeping people with low impotence, in other words, people who aren't users, around Sora to see if her artifact was going haywire. Mom's already completely forgotten about Sora. In that case, what about Sora's classmate?
Sora は今どこにいる？
少し待って。
Sophie lands on the table and freezes. There's probably a weird way of explaining it, but it looks like all the power went out of her, like Sora leaving its vessel. She remains like that for a few
お待
moments.
たせ。
Sophie's body, once again, fills with
学校
life.
には向かっていないわね。いつもの道からそれている。
どこに向かっている？
わからないわよそんなの。土地勘がないんだもの。
通学路からどっちに向かったかだけ教えてくれ。
東。
東って言うと駅の逆方向か。なら
I get up and pull my shirt
そ
off.
んな体で出かけるの？
ほっとけない。
石になった部分は隠しなさいよ。
分かってる。
Put on a long-sleeved shirt and stretched the cuffs out. While it looks weird, I put a glove onto my right hand. As for my right foot, only one way to do this.
雑ね。
Sophie sighs as she watches me wrap my petrified shoe in packing tape. Fuck off! I don't have time to worry about how I look. I mean, the tape should actually give it like at least a little more, a little added integrity, so you can properly run. Once I'm done, I toss aside the roll of tape and get to my feet. I need to find Sora as fast as possible.
空を追い続けてくれ。
してるわよ。北に進路を変えた。
わかった。ありがとう。
I stuffed my left foot into a shoe and dash out the door. Sophie follows after me. I'm running as fast as I can, but my petrified foot seriously holds me back. Damn it, I can't even call this running. Fuck! Even though my ankle is free, the lack of feeling in my foot makes it hard to keep my balance. Worse, I can't risk putting too much pressure on the petrified foot. It isn't the time to be worrying about myself.
焦る必要はないわよ。すぐにあなたの記憶が消えることはないわよ。
そうだったとしても、妹が大変な状況なんだ。焦る理由は十分だろ。
あら、素敵なお兄さんね。空の監視に集中する。しばらく反応できないわよ。
頼む。
Watch Sophie vanish into her portal, then resume walking. I have an idea of where Sora might be headed. I go straight there. However, when I reach the shrine, she's nowhere to be seen. Judging by the direction she went, I thought for sure she was headed here. But now that I think about it, being forgotten by her friends and family must have been a huge shock to her. There's no way she'd be willing to go anywhere. She might run into one of them. She's not here, so where is she?
公園よ。
Just then, Sophie
今ベンチに座っ
rematerializes.
た。また移動しないうちに捕まえた方がいいわよ。
ありがとう。
I start running and Sophie disappears again. It'd be nice if she could stick around to guide me, but now's not the time to be asking for more favors. More importantly, I need to hurry. I arrive at the park, gasping for breath, and scan the area. As a group of small kids, their mothers watching over them. Makes sense at this time. Only parents with kids too young to be at school would be at the park, which is why anyone wearing a school uniform would stick out like a sore thumb. Parents keep glancing nervously in a particular direction, and that's where I'm head. I find Sora huddled up on a bench and plop down on the seat next to
こんなと
her.
ころでぼーっとしてると、補導されるぞ。
Sora looks up, puzzled. The moment she sees me, she forces out a smile, but it's so stiff it hurts to look at.
やべえ、見つかっちゃった。なんか、今日学校行く気しなくてさ。
Her voice grows quieter and quieter before trailing off. She realized I know. That's why I'm here after all. Her smile crumbles. She hangs her head, looking down at the ground with teary eyes. Finally, she starts to talk. She explains what's happening to her.
昨日、学校に行ったら、みんなに変な顔されて。でも友達は普通に接してくれたから、その時はまだ気づいてなくて。でも、お昼になったら、一瞬誰って顔されて、冗談かなって思ったけど、放課後になったら、私はみんなにとって知らない人になってた。
Her trembling voice grinds to a halt. Silence. But I know Sora's not done talking yet. I quietly wait for her to continue. I'll sit here until she can work up the courage to say what happened next.
もしかしてって思って、家に帰ってみた。お母さんも、私のことわからなくなってた。お兄ちゃんにも忘れられちゃったらって思ったら、怖かった。でも、覚えててくれて、嬉しかった。すごく、ほっとした。
Finally, Sora turns to face me. Her eyes are filled with grief.
ねえ、私どうなっちゃったの？力なんて使ってないよ。なのになんでみんなから私が消えちゃってるの？お兄ちゃんの記憶からももうすぐ消えちゃうの？やだよ。そんなのやだよ。
Words are cheap. I've always believed that actions are how you really show your sincerity. There's a time for words as well. And I think right now is one of those times. I reach out and pat Sora on the head. I swear to you, Sora, I won't let this become a
俺
lie.
は空のことを忘れないよ。帰ろう。うちに。
The moment we return home, Sora falls fast asleep. I explained about the medicine Sophie was making, and she looked incredibly relieved. She probably didn't sleep a wink last night. No wonder she conked out the moment we got back. I can't imagine the pain she went through, discovering that her friends and even her parents had forgotten all about her. It's incomprehensible. Damn.
かける？
Sophie calls out to me. I turn around and see her floating in the kitchen. Honestly, I'll just ask her if there's like some kind of drug they have that could temporarily increase impotence. Since the higher impotence he has, the less likely he is to, forget. Guess whatever this is about, she doesn't want Sora to overhear. I get up and hobble over.
空の様子は？
相当動揺してる。力の制御ができないみたいだ。
そうでしょうね。経験上これから一気に崩れるわよ。もう猶予はあまりないわね。
For a second, it feels like my heart stopped. We're running out of time. I have to do something before it's too late.
薬はいつできるんだ？
あと2、3日ってところね。
2、3日。
急がせてはいるけれどどうにもならないわ。こればっかりは。
何か他にないのか？応急処置とか。
本人の気の持ちよう。強い意志。それだけよ。だからこそ心が折れれば症状が一気に悪化する。
持つのか？3日も。
あなた次第。
俺にできることがあるんだな。
あるわよ。あなたにしかできないことが。
教えてくれ。
特別なことじゃないわ。あなたが空の拠り所になっているのは間違いない。だから今まで通りいいお兄さんでいてあげればいいのよ。支えてあげなさい。空が元気を取り戻せば1週間でも2週間でも持つわよ。あくまでもこのままじゃダメってだけ。
そうか。2週間。よかった。
でも
Sophie adds sternly as I breathe a
安
sigh
心
of
する
relief.
のは早いわよ。情緒不安定な人間を支えるのはとても難しい。話が支離滅裂になって会話自体が成立しなくなることだってある。逆に感情が乏しくなって外的刺激に全く反応を示さなくなることもある。気をつけなさい。空の心が折れれば消えてしまいたいとでも願ってしまったら、きっとあなたも空を忘れる。十二分に気をつけなさい。いつも叩いている憎まれ口。冗談のつもりでもそれだけでぽっきり言っちゃうかもしれないから。
わかった。ありがとう。気をつける。
あなた、存外素直なのよね。本当に気をつけなさいね。時には嘘も必要よ。
あ、わかった。
何かあったらすぐに呼びなさい。今回だけは怒らないであげるわ。もっとも、力になれるかはわからないけれど。
わかった。ありがとう。
After I thank her, Sophie disappears. So everything is riding on Sora's feelings, and on whether or not I can support her. And Sophie was telling me all that stuff about how I was a singularity. I didn't really get it. But now I'm painfully aware of what she meant. I have to weigh every action carefully, because even the smallest misstep could tear Sora away from me. Someone did tell me that, yes, the ending where the bad end doesn't necessarily mean that the girl dies. Because they mentioned something about Sora going away. They did not mean in that sense. I head back to the living room and sit down next to my bed. Still fast asleep. From the looks of it, she didn't hear our conversation. There's much I could do for Sora. Just a couple things, really. Above all, I'll keep my promise to her. Stand beside her until she's finally free from the artifact curse. The sun goes down and day turns to night. When Sora woke up, she tried to act like her usual cheerful self, but she kept spacing out. It's obvious she is still feeling down. She didn't have much of an appetite either. She hardly ate anything for lunch or dinner. I wanted to do something for her, so I thought about calling over Kujo, Yuki, and Kozuka, since they likely still remember her, but I decided against it in the end. I settled for just telling Kujo about everything that happened to Sora. He seemed truly worried, but I've got a nagging fear. The day after I was attacked by ghosts, I explained what happened to Kujo and Yuki. Back then, Kujo looked like she was having trouble putting her thoughts into words, and she trailed off more than once. She said she was just spacing out. I'm pretty sure that right after was when she said that we'd be fine for a little while since Sora had erased Ghost with her powers. I'm only dimly aware of it at the time, but the timing of Kujo's pauses left an impression on me. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but what if Kujo was already starting to lose her memories of Sora? That would explain why she looked a little confused every time I mentioned her. I might be reading too much into it, but I can't deny the possibility. If that's true, then I can't possibly let Kujo, Yuki, or Kozuka see Sora right now. What if they start forgetting Sora while they're talking to her? If they ask her who she is in the middle of a conversation, Sora might completely break down. I'm not confident I can support her through that. I can't afford to take any risks right now. Every decision matters. I've got to make the right one.
兄ちゃん
ん
I look up from the monitor and turn to Sora. She's lying on the bed playing with her
もう
phone.
動画終わってるよ。
ああ。
To be honest, I wasn't paying any attention at all to what I was watching. Turns out that not only the credits rolled, it's even got the recommended for you pop up with a bunch of similar looking
面
stuff.
白かった？
ああ。まあまあ。
嘘。見てなかったでしょ。
バレたか。
考え事？
まあな。
当てようか。私のことでしょ。
正解。
ふん
For some reason, that elicits a smile out of her, and she rolls over to my
嬉
side.
しい。
何が？
お兄ちゃんが私のこと考えてくれて、
そりゃ考えるだろう。非常事態だし。
頭の中が私でいっぱいになってるのが嬉しい。ドキッとした。
I was about to say like hell, but I catch myself. Man, it feels weird having to watch what I say around Sora. Unusual pattern won't work. What do I even say? Sora snickers and gently pats my head. Guess she figured me out already.
いつも通りにしてよね。調子狂っちゃう。心配してもらえるのは嬉しいけどね。
今は優しいお兄ちゃんキャンペーン中なんだよ。甘えとけ。
どこまで甘えていいの？
常識の範囲内で。
じゃあ。
Sora draws even closer and wraps her arms around me.
ねえ、
あ
キスして。
あ。は
Sora says nothing more. Her warm breath tickles my ear. Something's different. Normally Sora wouldn't be able to keep a straight face saying something like that. And that wasn't her normal joking tone. Emotional instability, confusion. Sophie's warning flashes through the back of my mind. Don't tell me Sora's serious. Holy shit.
おい、ソラ。
She brings her lips closer, her breath tickling my cheek.
ソラ。ソラ。
Her face is millimeters from mine now, just before her lips touch my cheek. She smiles impishly and pulls
お
away.
兄ちゃん、こういうのはうまく返せないんだね。
Sheesh, she was just teasing me. God, I can't believe I seriously thought she was coming on to me. I blush and look
だ
away.
っせー、さすが童貞。
うるせえよ。お前だって少女だろ。
そうですよ。お兄ちゃんのために取ってあるの。
お前な。
超だっせー、動揺してる。
してねえよ、アホ。
してるじゃん。ドキドキしてるでしょ。
してない。
私はしてるよ。わあ、マジか。こんなに効くとは。
うるせえ。もう寝ろ。
まだ眠くないもん。
俺は眠い。眠くなくても寝ろ。
寝るのが怖い。
約束したろ。起きたらちゃんとおはようってお前に言うよ。
うん。
心配ないからしっかり眠れ。
お兄ちゃん、
あ、
大好き。
もう照れないぞ。
今のは冗談じゃないよ。
Sora hugs me from behind again and rests her forehead against me. We stay like this for a while until finally Sora gets off of the bed.
歯磨いてくる。
あ、
She walks into the bathroom and closes the door behind her. I love you. So I used to say that a dozen times a day when we were kids. It always made me happy, and back then I'd always reply with an I love you too. But around the time I started middle school, when Sora was close to graduating elementary, I started getting embarrassed. So I told her to knock it off. After that, she started telling me she loved me less and less. Started acting less clingy too. Nowadays, we banter all the time, always trying to take each other down a peg. We hardly ever say something so sappy to each other. The fact that Sora started reverting to her younger self, the fact that she's exclusively calling me Oni-chan now, is not a good omen. I have to protect her. As Sora's older brother, I need to support her. That's why I'm here. I reaffirm my resolve. I spent a little while reminiscing about the old days together. In kindergarten and elementary school, Sora was so attached to me that she'd try to follow me to my classes. The night before my field trip, she threw a tantrum because she wanted to go with me. The next morning, she sobbed the whole time she was seeing me off. It was only around the time she started high school that she stopped being quite so needy, and we built up our new rapport of teasing each other. She blossomed as a person. She opened up more, started smiling and yelling, both around other people. Of course, she's still a little spoiled. Even now, she's got me wrapped around her little finger. No matter what kind of crazy stunts Sora pulled, I was always the one Mom and Dad yelled at. She's still got a habit of being quick to apologize. And then just as quickly to forget what got her into hot water in the first place. Despite that, it's only with her family that she'll repeat her mistakes. Surprisingly, when she's with her friends, she has her act together. I know, I've seen her out there at sports festivals, cultural festivals, you name it. In elementary and in middle school, all her classmates and friends really relied on her. In fact, I'm honestly kind of amazed how different she is when she's with her friends than when she's with her family. Good. Still remember it all. I haven't forgotten anything. Won't ever let myself forget. I'm Sora's older brother. Is at some point gonna be a choice where he has to remember if he is her older brother or not, and he's just gonna be, I'm not her older brother, and that's the right choice. He's just fucking him.
母さん。
どなたですか？
ほんとそれいいから。かけるだよ。
はい？
かけるです。あなたの息子です。
ああ、はいはい。息子か。
母さんハマるとしつこいんだよな。悪いけど、今日も学校に連絡してください。
まだ治らないの？ずいぶんと長いわね。
ちょっとね。連絡お願いね。
はいはい。お大事にね。
That's today's business taken care of. 3 days of school missed. I shudder to think how behind I'll be on homework when I return. But I'll just have to live with it.
咳か。治ってよかったね。
ん？ああ、だな。
I curled my right hand into a fist and rolled my ankle around. When I woke up this morning, the petrification had completely vanished. Moved my fingers, and more importantly, I can take off my shoe now. I can move my fingers, and more importantly, I can take off my shoe now. I wonder if my burning desire to protect Sora accelerated the healing process. Since artifacts are manifestations of soul's power or whatever, I suppose that's an actual possibility. I'd be fine to go to school today, but there's no way I'm leaving Sora alone. That's why I'm calling in sick for a few more days. Until Sophie completes her medicine and frees Sora from her artifact. Until Sophie completes her medicine and frees Sora from her artifact, I'm not leaving her side.
なんか学校休んだ日ってちょっとワクワクするね。しかもお兄ちゃんと一緒に悪いことしてる気分。
俺はもう3日目のプロだからな。罪悪感ゼロだ。
すげえ。みやこ先輩に伝えた？
ああ、そっか。授業始まる前に伝えとくか。
私の心配もしてくれてるかな。
当然だろ。
そうだね。
I couldn't miss that hesitation. Shit, I screwed up. Critta's messaged me a bunch of times the past few days about how I've been doing and all that. But the only time she's mentioned Sora is when I brought her up. I'm guessing she hasn't texted Sora directly at all. More accurately, she's incapable of it. From the looks of it, Kuju can no longer recall Sora unless someone else reminds her of Sora's existence. Memories are growing hazy as well, so I obviously picked up on that.
今日どうする？
In an attempt to cover for my blunder, I changed the topic. Sora tilts her head quizzically.
どうするって？
せっかく石化が解除されたから、俺は出かけたい。
出かけるって大丈夫なの？
体は問題ない。
そうじゃなくて、こんな時間にうろついて、私はともかくお兄ちゃんはまずいでしょ。
大丈夫だろう。制服でもない限り。どっか行こうぜ。どこがいい？
どこでもいいの？
近場なら。
近場。あ、カラオケ
Is there gonna be an insert song? Because I don't want to do the insert song. That could get me in trouble, did I? Because of the way I was sitting, a droplet from the cider has hit the fucking sole of my foot. Like, what the fuck? What are the odds?
いいな、行くか。
やったー！お兄ちゃんとカラオケ行くの初めてじゃない？
何度もあるだろ。
二人きりは初めてだよ。あ、映画も見ようよ、映
今何やってるっけ？
画！わかんないけど、なんか適当に良さげなやつ。
じゃあ、カラオケと映画のコンボ決めるか。
やったー！お兄ちゃんとデート！
デートって。映画の時間とか調べておいてくれ。顔洗ってくる。
わかった！
Flip picks up her phone and starts happily tapping away. But a few seconds later, her expression clouds over.
どうした？
パソコン使っていい？映画館のサイトが見にくい。
Is it a case of she has like a fingerprint scanner and the scanner isn't even picking her up anymore?
いいよ。
あざーす。
She throws her phone onto my bed and wakes up her PC. I give her one last sidelong glance before heading to the bathroom. Turn the faucet and water gushes out of the tap. I can't help fretting about that sudden change of expression earlier. But mostly I'm just glad he's happy right now. Hopefully this little sibling outing ends up being fun enough that she can forget about her worries for a while. Waited till classes should have started before leaving the house and head to the arcade by the station. Personally, I'm worried we might run into a student running late or a teacher on patrol, but it seems there's something else weighing on Sora's mind. She keeps shooting me worried glances while we talk.
ねえお兄ちゃん。
ん？
足大丈夫なの？我慢してない？
してない。 綺麗さっぱり治った。
よかったね。副作用とか後遺症とかなくて。
本当にな。あと欠けたり折れたりしなくてほんとよかった。ぶつけたりしないようにめっちゃ神経使った。
でも痛くない？
全然。
本当に？まだ指先とか石になってたりしないよね。
大丈夫だって。
見せてよ。
ほら。
Hold out my right hand and display my fingers. She hesitated for a few seconds, then puts her palm on top of mine. She then entwines her fingers with mine and squeezes tight. She beams up at me. As our boyfriend and girlfriend hold hands, normally I'd shake her off and throw a few caustic remarks her way, but whatever, it's just holding hands. I don't really mind doing it for her. Great. I'm more worried about someone seeing me holding hands with my sister than I am about someone finding out I'm skipping school. I have to keep my embarrassment in check. Letting Sora do what she wants is important.
お兄ちゃんが優しい。いつも優しいといいのにな。
キャンペーン中限定だ。
なんなのそのキャンペーンって。
看病と家事してくれたお礼キャンペーン。期限が過ぎれば元の俺に戻る。
キャンペーンは私が治るまで？
だな。
じゃあ治らなくてもいいな。
冗談でもよせよ。そういうこと言うのは。
だって他の人に忘れられてもお兄ちゃんが覚えててくれればそれでいいし。
That's bad! That's bad! That's bad! Smiling, Sora starts swinging her hand back and forth. That didn't sound like a joke to me. Well, if all she wants is to maintain the status quo, that's probably not enough to worsen her symptoms. That's probably not the best mindset to have for the sake of her recovery. It's not the worst either. No, chastise her.
お兄ちゃん。
When we arrive at the station, Sora tugs on my hand.
コンビニ行きたい。
ああ、いいよ。
ここで待ってて。
ああ、わかった。
行ってきまーす。
Sora lets go of my hand and trots over to the convenience store. She turns and waves to me as she pushes open the door, then hurries inside. Now I'm starting to worry again. Why'd you want to go in alone? Why didn't she ask me if I wanted anything? Normally she would. Besides, karaoke place doesn't allow any outside food or drink. So what does she even want to buy? None of these are significant enough on their own to warrant notice. Sort of so random, I could probably just chalk it up to her acting on a whim like she often does. But right now, every little thing puts me on edge. And definitely being overprotective. Maybe sort of caught on to that, and that's why she wanted to go in alone. Trying to act natural while still being cautious, but it's not going very well. Striking the right balance is hard. Sort of pops out of the store while I'm sighing at how pathetic I am. She jogs over to me, a smile on her face.
お待たせしやした。
何も買わなかったのか？
欲しいのなかった。
違うコンビニ行くか？
いい。もういい。
そっか。
行こう。
She takes my hand and starts walking. She doesn't feel like getting anything anymore. The clerk didn't see her. Even though she didn't buy anything, she's satisfied in whatever desire she had. You know what? I'll just drop this. If I try to read into everything she says or does, I'll just spend the entire day brooding. I should just enjoy myself. That's why we're having this outing in the first place. So we arrive at round 2. This place is everything. It's always packed after school, but at this hour the place is practically deserted. It's still far from quiet, but the lack of customers gives the place a more relaxing feel than usual.
9時とか10時とかから開くイメージだったけど、こんな早くからやってるんだね。
不良だな。学校サボってラウンド2。
不良デビューだ。お父さん泣きそうだな。
黙ってりゃいいんだ。
そうしよう。ねえねえ、ちょっと遊んでこうよ。映画までもうちょっと時間あるし。
先にカラオケだと思ってた。
時間に追われながら歌いたくないもん。
一理ある。遊んでくか。
よし、じゃあ別行動。
え？別？
ゲームは一人でじっくり遊びたいじゃん。10分したらここに集合ね。
Sora dashes off to the arcade without waiting for my reply. First convenience store now this. For how happy she was to be going out together. She sure wants an awful lot of time alone. Alone time. Yes, in a way, that's just like her, but... Fold my arms and think. If she wants to be left alone, I'm more than happy to do that. To be honest, I'm not in the mood for arcane games. Well, it's not like I have a particularly bad feeling about this or anything. I'm still a little worried about leaving Sora alone. My instincts are warning me that I can't leave Sora's side no matter for how short a time. Make my decision and walk into the arcade as well. Time to search for Sora. If she's absorbed in a game, then that's fine. I'll just keep an eye on her. If she complains about how I'm not playing anything, I'll just give her some excuse about how I don't want to waste my allowance, or how I have more fun watching than playing. It doesn't take me long to find her. She's playing the arcade version of one of those games where you control anthropomorphized battleships or planes or whatever. She's completely focused on a cabinet, manipulating the touch screen with a serious look on her face. Now that I think about it, she sure is into a lot of different genres. Intrigued, I'll walk over to get a closer look at the game. But halfway there, I stop. For a second, I completely forget what I was doing. I squeeze my eyes shut and shake my head. When I open my eyes again, Sora's standing there, just like before. I lost sight of her. I was looking at her the whole time. She was right there in front of me. There wasn't a moment when I couldn't see Sora. I'm shocked. Nausea wells up within me, and I feel the blood draining from my face. I reflexively cover my mouth and take a few steps back. Sora's symptoms are worsening. She's not maintaining her current level of non-existence. The erosion of her stigma is progressing. I swore I'd never forget her, but just now, for the briefest of instants, I forgot about Sora. A wave of dread washes over me. I can't leave Sora alone. No, that's not strong enough. I have to stay by her side at all times.
Sora!
When I call out to her, Sora looks away from the screen and gets up from the arcade stool.
いいのか？まだ終わってないだろう。
なんか、思ったのと違った。
そっか。
Even machines don't react to touch anymore. If she presses a button, it still works because it's like a press or something. But like the finer things.
それに、お兄ちゃんが
してねえよ。
ずっとこっち見てたじゃん。寂しそうに。
気づいてたのかよ。いや、見てたけどさ。
続きやっていいよ、気になるなら。
いや、いいよ。そこまでじゃない。
じゃ、映画館行こっか。
ああ。
やばい。平日満喫してる。罪悪感パネーぜ。
何の映画？
聞くの遅え。アニマルトピア。
あれか。CG の。
そうだけど、おじいちゃんみたいな表現やめてよね。んで、お昼食べた後にルナフォーマーズ。
2本立てかよ。っていうかなんでそれ選んだんだよ。ネットで評判見たぞ。
逆に見たくなった。ならない？
わかるけどさ、順番逆にできない？先にルナフォーマーズ見ようぜ。
上映スケジュール的にこれがベストなの。ほら、行くよ。
Sora takes my hand and we head to the movie theater. There's a smile on her face and a spring in her step. I don't want to bring her down, so I put a lid on the fear bubbling up within me and try to act normal. I can feel Sora's presence in the hand I'm holding. She's right here. Even if it starts to bother her, I won't let go. I'll hold on to this hand forever. I swear it. After watching both movies and singing our hearts out at karaoke, we headed back home. We really lived it up today. Sort of looks like she had a lot of fun. I know I did. However, after spending the whole day with Sora, I picked up on something. Tried to hide it, but I could tell. I know I'm not just overthinking things now. Sora's powers are out of control. Slowly but surely they're eating away at her. Her symptoms are worsening even faster than I expected. She replies casually, her eyes glued to the manga she's reading under my bed. I spent ages figuring out how to broach the topic, but all my thoughts fly out the window the moment I say her name. I end up bearing my feelings.
俺はそんなに頼りないか？
え？
話してくれ。我慢してることいっぱいあるだろ。
Sora closes her manga and turns to face me. She conjures up a stiff smile, but it crumbles instantly. She can tell from my expression that there's no fooling me. For a moment, she looks like she might cry, but she pushes back the tears, but she pushes the tears back down. Then she forces out another smile.
ねえ、スマホ撮って。
Or it's gonna be a case of she took a fake picture of herself and she doesn't show up in the picture. Whoops. Picks Sora's phone up off the table and hand it to her. She pushes the button to bring up the lock screen and shows it to
理
me.
屈とかはわからないけど、こういうスイッチとかは問題ないんだよね。押せばちゃんと反応してくれる。けど、
She taps the screen, types in her password. However, has no change on the screen.
ね、反応してくれない。
故障じゃないのか。
No, that's not the problem, but I can't stop myself from asking. Sora just shakes
ゲ
her
ーム
head.
でも確認してみた。ほら、こういうのって指以外で触っても反応してくれなかったりするじゃん。機械が私を認識できなくなってるのかもね。触っても何も反応してくれない。周りの人ももう私に気がつかない。昨日まではギリギリ認識はしてもらえてたのにね。存在感を常にゼロにされちゃってる感じ。声をかけてももう気づいてもらえない。
コンビニで確認してたの。
うん。レジの前に立ってもすいませんって声をかけても返事してもらえなかった。お兄ちゃんも途中で気づいてたでしょ。私の影がすごく薄くなってるの。
ああ。昼に頼んだ料理。全部俺の前に並べられた時に。
だよね、気づくよね。自動ドアもお兄ちゃんと一緒じゃないと反応してくれなかったし。お兄ちゃん、私ごめん、なんでもない。弱音吐きそうになったけど言わない。
いいんだぞ。言っても。
大丈夫。そりゃ悲しいけどさ、お父さんにお母さんにクラスの友達にみやこ先輩にはるか先輩に、知っている人が私のことわからなくなるのも、機械すら私を無視するのも悲しいけどさ。でもお兄ちゃんがいるもん。お兄ちゃんがいてくれるから私は大丈夫。このままみんなから忘れられちゃってもお兄ちゃんがいれば私は幸せ。そんな顔しないでよね。嘘はついてないよ。お兄ちゃんがいれば私はいい。それでいい。
あとちょっとの我慢だ。薬さえできればそれで治る。
Sora gives me a small nod. She whispers something under her breath. I heard it loud and clear, though. But it might not last that long. Pain lances through my chest, my face twists in anguish. Sora hurriedly puts on a smile.
先にお風呂入るね。
ああ。
一緒に入る？
一人でゆっくり使ってこい。
Sora gives me a look of mock disappointment before sliding off my bed. She grabs her towel and pajamas and heads to the bathroom. She's vanishing from everyone's memories. Not even machines register her existence anymore. Could anything possibly be more isolating? In a way, it's the same as dying. But as long as I'm here, Sora can smile. And yet, I'm so worried. I'm terrified I might not end up being able to keep my promise to her, and the thought sends chills down my spine. Sora's out of control powers have even started taking their toll on me. My symptoms are just in their earliest phases. I should be fine for a while longer. But if Sora realizes, she figures out that my memories of her are growing dimmer, and that I'm losing track of her presence at times. What if she's already realized? Might have started spacing out without even realizing it. Sora would have picked up on that. If I'm right about that, then maybe what Sora said is true. She might not last enough to be cured. Long enough to be cured. I have to do something. I need to make sure that even if I end up forgetting, Sora can still be saved.
Sophie.
quietly call out to her. Just like she promised the last time I saw her, Sophie appears immediately. I hang my head and mumble softly, almost to
時間
myself.
がない。
あと2日待って。
2日も。
なんとか持たせて。こっちもギリギリなのよ。
一つだけ。
ええ。
もし俺が、空のことを忘れてしまったら、ソフィーが薬を空に飲ませてやってくれないか。俺にも症状が出始めた。ソフィーなら、対抗力ってやつ、俺よりも高いんだろ。だから、頼む。もしもの時は、空を、頼む。
約束はできない。
どうして？
私は観測者。私の記憶は空の力でも消えない。けれど、空自身が消えてしまったら、どうにもならないわ。
空が？
あのゴーストってこと同じ。行き着く先は存在の消滅。
No, whoops. Coding overloaded again because fucking annoying ass animal has to keep bopping up and down.
そうなってしまったら、さすがに私でも無理よ。だから、約束はできない。
そうか。いや、悪い。弱気になるべきじゃなかった。俺が踏ん張ればそれで済む話だよな。
弱気じゃなくて、慎重なだけでしょ。最悪のケースを想定するのは当然。
Ah, yes. The best idea. Just carve the words, Sora is my sister, into your own arm. And then have Sophie, Sora is my sister. Ask Sophie for details. And just like, oh, okay. Sophie, what the fuck? Oh yeah, you did that yourself, so you don't forget Sora. Ah, thank you.
ただ、あなた少し参っているわね。悲観的かつ自虐的になっている。一番辛いのは空なんだから、あなたは兄らしくしっかりなさい。
そうだな。ありがとう。
まったく、柄じゃないわね、こんなお説教。とにかく、あと2日間、なんとか持たせなさい。
ああ、やってみせる。
その息よ。
Sophie gives me a kind smile before disappearing through her portal. 2 more days, and if I can stay strong for 2 more days, Sora will be saved. How much longer until Sora reaches her absolute limit? Now that I think about it, it doesn't matter.
お兄ちゃん大変だ、シャンプーがな環境設定だよ。
Listen, I'm not risking things.
待ってろ。
Give me 1 sec, he says. I get up and leave the living room. I pull a spare bottle of shampoo from the cupboard underneath the sink and set it outside the bathroom
ここ置いた
door.
ぞ。
I'm leaving it out here, he says.
ありがとう。
Thank you, she says. That's Sora's voice. She's still there. Still right here. Just have to spend the next 2 days like I did this one. That's all. Better safe than sorry, you know? Whoops. Even though we're both skipping school again, we wake up at the usual time in the morning. But since there's no need to rush, we take our time with breakfast. Halfway through my toast, to put my food down and pick up my phone. Now's a good time to call. How many days in a row will this make? It's getting kind of hard to keep up the... I've got a cold act, but it's too late to change my story now.
お母さん、
ああ、欠席の連絡。
オレオレ詐欺ネタ毎回やるでしょ。
しつこいよな。オレオレ詐欺自体も話題になったのかなり前だろ。
飽きるまで続けるからね、お母さん。
先手を打って名前言うと拗ねるしな。今回も付き合うしかないな。
Grumbling, I pressed the call button. After 5 or 6 rings, Mom finally picks up.
はい、もしもし。
もしもし、俺だけど。
はい？
かけるです。
どなたですか？
だからかけるだってば。悪いけど今日も。
間違い電話じゃありませんか？
Because Sora thinks it's fine as long as only he knows her. And no one else needs to know about them. He's also starting to vanish. Is that the case?
いや、だから。今回しつこいな。間違えてないよ。オレオレ詐欺じゃないから。かけるです。あなたの息子の。
はい？
息子です、息子。
うちに息子なんていませんが。
は？
She hung up on me. I thought she was just pushing the joke too far. I kept expecting her to laugh and say, "How'd you like my acting this time?" But she wasn't. She sounded legitimately annoyed. And moreover, she didn't remember me. Don't tell me. I'm starting to disappear as well. Sort of erasing me with her.
お兄ちゃん。
Sora's voice snaps me out of my reverie. She's looking intently at my right hand.
そら。
どうしよう。お兄ちゃん。
Tears are forming in her eyes. Looking down, I see that her right hand has turned slightly translucent. In fact, as the seconds tick away, I watch as the view of the room through her hand becomes even more clear. She's vanishing before my eyes. Even the toast pinched between her fingers is turning transparent. Rather from sheer surprise or because her strength is fading, the toast slips from her fingers. But even after she lets go of it, the toast remains translucent. Sora's powers are going haywire. Everything she touches, everything she wears, everything in her general vicinity is being erased.
どうしよう。私。
そら！
I run to her side. I clasp her fading hand between both of mine and squeeze tight.
消えちゃう。消えちゃうよ、お兄ちゃん。
I was gonna check if the other hand is also... Oh, hold on.
環境設定だよ。
大丈夫、大丈夫だ。気をしっかり持て。消えてたまるかって強く思うんだ。
でも。
いいか、俺を見ろ。そら、俺を見ろ。
She looks up at me, face full of hesitation and doubt. Damn, now all of her is turning invisible.
そら、俺が見えるか。俺がお前の手を握ってるの。俺もわかるぞ。空の手をしっかりと握っている。俺の手の中に空の手を感じる。いいか、お前はここにいる。消えちゃいない。大丈夫だ。俺がしっかりと捕まえてる。だから消えない。俺がついてる。お兄ちゃんがついてるぞ。
お兄ちゃん。お兄ちゃん。
I take one hand away and throw it around her, pulling her close to me. She grips my shirt with her other hand, lean into her ear and whisper over and over that she'll be okay. I'm beyond desperate right now. Fortunately, my desperation manages to serve as Sora's lifeline. Little by little, Sora's breathing calms down. Her fading outline solidifies once more. Crisis averted, I think. She's still here with me for now. What caused the sudden change? Why did her symptoms worsen so drastically just now? Frantically, I cast about for an explanation. However, regardless of what caused it, she is better now. Nonetheless, Sora is currently clearly at her limit. You have even less time than I thought. As long as I keep encouraging Sora like that, I want to believe that I can buy her some more time. I have to keep supporting her for as long as it takes. Meaning I have to keep smiling. I have to be the strong older brother she can rely on.
頑張ったな。空。
I gently stroke her hair. Sora presses her forehead against mine and
ごめ
murmurs.
んなさい。
何がごめんなさいかはわからないが、二度と謝ったりするなよ。
It's obvious what's happening. She immediately started getting worse because she noticed that her mom is also forgetting him.
空は俺の命の恩人だからな。今度は俺が助ける番だ。いや、違うな。兄貴だからな。妹を助けるのに理由なんか必要ない。 いつも一緒だ。大丈夫。
I pat her back. Sora clings to me for a while longer. After a few minutes, she finally rubs her eyes and breaks away. Whoops.
ごめん。ありがとう。
食べよう。
I don't know why, but I keep watching the video, the Mishima hairline as I like just consistently like rewatching it. I don't know why, but it's so fucking funny to me. Like I don't even play Tekken, but by God, I actually kind of want to get into Tekken now that I'm playing Kazuya. And Smash, that is. Anyways, Sora nods, and after a moment of hesitation, I return to my seat. I feel like there's more I should have said to her. Are you alright? How are you feeling? That would be a stupid question. She's obviously not alright. What more can I say? Sora picks up the piece of toast she dropped, but instead of eating it, she just puts it back on her plate. The toast too has gone back to normal. It's no longer transparent. Maybe Sora doesn't want to eat something she nearly made disappear.
新しいのを焼いてくるか。
いらない。もういい。
そうか。
It's getting harder and harder to think of something to say. I want to sort of drink her glass of milk while I finish up my own piece of toast. While I'm chewing, I think. When it started, I was too panicked to think straight. But now that I'm reflecting in it, there can only be one reason Sora's condition worsened. She must have overheard my phone call. I know. She knows what Mom said to me. She's in shock because she figured out that her powers are affecting me as well. And thus the abilities that she was just barely keeping in check suddenly went wild. I was careless. I couldn't help but beat myself up over my lack of foresight. If only I wasn't so damn stupid. Should have realized. Until yesterday, Kujo texted me after school every day to check on me. And then yesterday she didn't. I should have paid more attention to that anomaly, and then maybe I would have realized Soda's powers are affecting me sooner. Maybe I should have avoided calling Mom in front of Sora just in case. Still, it's no use crying over spilled milk. I popped the last bit of toast into my mouth and crunched down on it hard, venting my frustration on the hapless piece of bread before washing down the crumbs with a cup of milk.
本当にもういいのか。
After a few seconds of silence, Sora nods. Stack up our plates and take them to the kitchen. Honest to God, it's obvious that you realize at this point. So just make it like, you know what? That's actually useful. We don't have to continuously lie. I don't have to continuously lie to Mom about being sick now while while taking care of you. Now we don't have to bother with checking in with the school until we've managed to cure you. So we can just focus on having some alone time. That's nice. I don't know how to phrase it other than alone time, but alone time sounds bad. Stack up our plates and take them to the kitchen. Put them in the sink and hurry back to the living room. Sora was staring at the floor vacantly, not moving a muscle. She was moments away from disappearing for good. I can't imagine how traumatizing an experience that must have been. But she survived it. She's still hanging in there even now. I'm sure she can make it another day or two somehow.
今日もどっか出かけるか。まだ見たい映画とかあるか。またカラオケ行くのもいいな。歌い足りないって言ってただろ。さすがに2日連続は疲れるか。今日は家でゆっくりするのもいいな。
お兄ちゃん。
Sora finally speaks, but it's not to answer my question. She picks up her phone, puts it down on the table, and pushes it towards me.
操作してもらってもいい？
ああ、いいよ。
Nodding, I reach for her phone. I know why she's asking. I don't know Sora's password, but I doubt I'll need to ask. I press the power button and tap the touchscreen. No matter where I touch, there's no response. So, it's happening to me too now. How did he dial his phone then? Funny. Just a few minutes ago I was... They followed up on that. Scared. Must have pushed Sora's powers to start affecting me more strongly. She whispers. She looks even more upset than she did when she was about to disappear.
私がお兄ちゃんだけいればいいって思っちゃったからだ。お兄ちゃんさえいてくれればってそう思っちゃったから。私お兄ちゃんを巻き添えにしちゃってる。
巻き添えなんてそんな言い方はよせ。多分空の負担を肩代わりしているんだ。もしかしたら俺のアーキファクトはそういう力なのかもな。お前の助けになれて俺は嬉しいよ。
Try my best to encourage Sora, but needless to say, she doesn't buy my pathetic excuse. Sora hangs her head in
お
despair.
兄ちゃんを巻き込んじゃう前に私
空
I cry out. I lean forward and take her by the shoulders. She watches me impassively. When did the spark go out of her eyes?
二度と言うな。
でもこのままじゃお兄ちゃんも消えちゃうから。
消えない。さっきも言ったろ。消えるもんかって強く思えば大丈夫だ。さっきも大丈夫だったろ。
でもわかるんだ。もう無理だよお兄ちゃん。私もう無理だ。
無理なんて言うな。無理じゃない。
But no matter what I say, Sora remains listless. It's like she's given up on everything. There's no emotion in her voice anymore. Sophie's words echo in my mind. She gave in. Her spirit is broken. I swore I'd save her. I swore I wouldn't let this happen. But in spite of everything, Sora's starting to wish for her own disappearance. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
どうすれば元気になってくれる。どうすればまた笑ってくれる。言ってくれ。どうすればいい。空は俺にどうしてほしい。お前が元気になってくれるなら、笑ってくれるなら、俺は何だってしてやるから。
なんでも。
Finally, Sora shows a little emotion. Can't let this chance slip past me. He'd fan the flames of her spirit back to life.
ああ、何でもだ、何でも。食べたいものがあれば買ってきてやるし、行きたいところがあれば連れてってやる。何でも言え。してほしいこと何でも。全部叶えてやるから。
じゃあ
ああ、
お兄ちゃんの恋人にしてほしい。
は
It came from nowhere, and I said the one thing I shouldn't have. I can tell from the look on her face that there's no joke. A pall of anxiety hangs over it, but a tiny ember of hope glimmers in the depths of Sora's vacant eyes. She sees me at a loss for, seeing me at a loss for words, she smiles. Sora calmly meets my gaze.
ずっとね、お兄ちゃんのことが好きだった。小さい頃から、物心ついた頃から好きだった。絶対に言わないつもりだったけど、ずっと隠してきたけど、もういいよね。私が消えたらこの告白もお兄ちゃんは忘れちゃうから。だからいいよね。消える前に最後に思い出をもらっても、夢を叶えても。
There's gonna be the choice that was mentioned. There's gonna be like a choice like let her be the girlfriend and don't let her be the girlfriend. If the right option is gonna be don't let her be the girlfriend, and it's gonna be like once you're cured, then we got a deal.
私お兄ちゃんが好き。ずっと好きだった。だから私を好きじゃなくてもいいから、私を消えちゃう前に恋人にしてください。
I'm pinned to the spot, unable to look away from her. I'm so flustered I want to run away. But I can't, because this is a choice. Choice I can't afford to get wrong. Because if I do, Sora will disappear.
お兄ちゃん。
So, I make my decision.
セーブ画面だよ。セーブするよ。セーブしたよ。
Lol, no.
できない。
Sora's eyes go wide, but she quickly gets over her shock, puts on a brave face, and a self-deprecating smile.
そうだよね。ごめん。気持ち悪いよね。
そうじゃない。
いいよ。ごめん。忘れて。ってどうせ忘れちゃうか。
ふざけんなよ、お前。
Sora shrinks back at the anger in my voice. I grab her by the arm and glare at
どう
her.
せってなんだよ。消えちゃう前にってなんだよ。なんで消えること前提にそんな話してんだよ。
だって
Sora looks away. Tears are spilling from her eyes.
私迷惑しかかけないし消えちゃった方がいいって。
んなこと思ってねえんだよ。
Like, I like how people told me, like, there's gonna be a choice where you want to pick the logical choice. The illogical choice. But I think I would have gone for reject her feelings even if someone didn't tell me. Because that would be exactly what she wants, and if she gets exactly what she wants right now, she would move on to disappear. Which would not be the desired outcome. I can't say for sure, because someone did tell me, oh, you want to pick the illogical option. Which, honest to God, that didn't feel illogical. It's hard to explain, but, like, no one's gonna believe me that I say this. Hell, I myself don't believe myself right now. Because I have the previous knowledge of someone telling me, watch out for the choice, it'll make no sense, or something along those lines. So I can't say with confidence which I would have picked without knowing. I would like to think I would have thought for a second and thought, if we do accept her feelings, she's got the last thing she wants before disappearing, and therefore will then disappear, since, hell, she's not gonna believe him if he says, like, he actually likes her. She's gonna feel it because of the way she herself phrased it. He's just saying yes in hopes of keeping her here. But like I said, no one's gonna fucking believe me. Her shoulders trembled. I don't think I've ever truly gotten angry at Sora before. But right now I'm furious.
それでお前が元気になるなら、頑張ろうって思えるなら、なんだってしてやるさ。けどな、なんだよ、どうせ消えるって、消えちまう前にって、最後の思い出のつもりかよ。ずっと隠してたことを、胸に秘めていたことを、そんなつもりで口にしてんじゃねえよ。お前の大事な大事な気持ちを、そんな後ろ向きな考えで口にしてんじゃねえよ。そんなの聞いてやれるわけねえだろうが、叶えてやれるわけねえだろうが。
Exactly.
そういうことは、そういう大事なことは、元気になってから言え。そうしたら考えてやる。
それって頑張ったら恋人にしてくれるってこと？
だからまた改めて言え。その時考える。
何それ、嘘でも恋人にしてやるってそう言ってよ。
お前に嘘はつかない。
もうついた。何でもしてくれるって。
だから言ったろ。お前が頑張ろうと思ってくれるなら、前向きになってくれるなら、何でもしてやる。けど後ろ向きな願いは、俺の記憶が消えること前提の願いは、断固として断る。
何それ、何それ。
ほら言え。やけくそなこと以外なら、何でも聞いてやる。
お腹すいた。
よし。
I passed out his head and jogged to the kitchen. I drop a slice of bread into the toaster and wait until it's toasted just the way Sora likes it. And I grab the toast, put it on a plate. Then I grab the toast, put it on a plate, and back to the living room. Sora looks up at me as I set the plate down in front of her, then grabs the toast and scarfs it down without even putting any jam on it. Sniffling, she wipes away her tears as she chews.
ソラ、
うん。
今のは聞かなかったことにする。
うん。
でも忘れたことにはしない。
うん。
全部終わったら、また言ってくれよ。その時はちゃんと俺も真剣に考えて、答えるから。
Nodding, Sora looks down at her plate. After a few seconds, she returns to her half-finished piece of toast. Did I almost say feast of toast? I mean, get her enough, and I suppose it would be a feast. At first, I was worried I'd messed up everything when I started yelling at Sora, but in the end, I think I made the right call. Sora may not have cheered up precisely, but she at least looks like she's willing to try. Thank God. A feeling of relief floods through me. Finishing her toast seems to have given Sora her energy back. As she snatches the glass of milk I bring her and downs it in one long go. She slams the empty glass down on the table.
寝る！なんかだるい！
ああ、おやすみ。
おやすみ！
Sora flops down onto my bed and pulls the covers up over her. She still sounds a little desperate, but at least there's life in her voice now. I think she's gonna make it. Smiling and take her plate and glass to the sink. Since I already washed the dishes, I may as well do the laundry too. Because I'm going to the bathroom. I remember Sora doesn't like me getting her doesn't like letting me touch her dirty clothes, especially underwear. Guess the laundry will have to wait. I returned to the living room to find Sora in the same place she was when I left. Her breathing is measured and even, and I get feeling she's still awake. I plop down beside the bed and pull out my phone. Still doesn't work. At least keep Sora from disappearing, but her powers are still out of kept Sora from disappearing, but her powers are still out of control. Managed to prevent the worst from happening, but we're hanging by a thread. She wants a romantic relationship with me. The erosion of her stigma caused her so much emotional distress that she ended up leaking her biggest secret. I wish she's kept it hidden all this time. Told Sora I'd think about it, but to be honest, I'm not really sure what to do. I pretended to act calm in front of Sora, but in truth, I'm pretty shaken. What do you do when your sister says she's in love with you? What do you do when your sister says she's in love with you? There we go, I made the joke. For the rest of the day, Sora kept falling asleep, waking up, then falling back asleep again in 1 hour cycles. It seems using her power constantly like this is wearing her out. In retrospect, I should have realized that a while ago, but I didn't make connection until I saw her stigma show up on her body while she slept. The main reason she broke down this morning was because she learned her powers were starting to affect me too, but I imagine part of it was also that she's just physically exhausted. Still, she's holding up for now. She even had lunch, though all I could make was some instant ramen I had in my pantry, so it wasn't what you'd call nutritious. I don't think she'll give up on. I don't think she'll give up of her own accord anymore. She's fighting with everything she's got. As the sun is setting, Sora finally breaks out of her cycle and gets up.
ずっと寝てるとこのまま消えちゃいそうな気がする。
She grabs one of my manga, climbs back into bed with it, and starts reading. But she seems to be having a hard time concentrating on it. Chances are, now that she's had time to calm down and think about what she said a few hours ago, she's feeling embarrassed about it. She keeps shooting me what she probably thinks are covert glances from over the page. I could just pretend I haven't noticed, but there's one thing I need to apologize to her for.
ソラ、
何？
今更なんだが、ゴーストへの能力、解除した方がいいな。
え？
Sora looks up from her manga and stares blankly at me.
ほんと今更だな。お前に一番負担をかけていること、今の今まですっぽ抜けてた。お前は分かっててそうしなかったんだろうが、あいつのことは俺が何とかしてみせるから。 だから解除した方がいい。
そうしたいけど無理なんだよね。もう力の使い方がわからない。
わからない？
制御できないっていうか、アーティファクトに見限られちゃったっていうか、もう私の手を離れちゃってる。解除したくてもできない。
そっか。もっと早く気づけばよかったな。
私のことが心配すぎて、あいつのことなんて忘れてた？
忘れたわけじゃないが、何としても空のことは忘れないぞって、そればっかり考えてた。
Sort of tries to sound uninterested, but I see the corners of her lips turn up ever so slightly before she looks back to her manga. Try to act natural. Have to, or I won't be able to make small talk like normal. That's when Sora starts talking about the feelings she's bottled up for all these years.
開き直って全部言っちゃうけどさ。
ああ。
私、お兄ちゃんのこと、ほんと好きなんだよね。
Try to remain calm, but every time I hear those words, I feel my heart give a little flutter. Thank God Sora's looking at her manga and not me. She probably doesn't have the courage to face me right now. She keeps her back turned to me and
いつ
continues.
からとかきっかけとかわかんないけど、でも恋とかそういうの理解できるようになった頃にはもう好きだった。
What is love?
男の子とか全然興味なかったし、1回か2回か告白されたことあって、付き合っちゃえとか周りに煽られたこともあったけど、無理って感じだった。サッカー部のキャプテンとかさ、野球部のエースとかより、私は私のお兄ちゃんが良かった。でもさ、キモいって分かってたからさ、必死に隠してた。でも
Someone did tell me that apparently someone's going to struggle with their feelings because of, you know, the situation, which is more than other games do. Which, yes, I'm happy that at least she's like, this is a fucking problem. I'm going to bury these feelings deep inside, and then one day I'll die. In other words, Sora is Irish. I think I wanted to say something, but I forgot. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Apparently in Buskwar's video, instead of skipping the opening, he like muted it and then like badly sung the lyrics, which he partially couldn't even hear properly. So he just like started to wing it apparently or something like that. So he was like, the people wanted singing beast, how could you just skip it? And I was just like, I sing enough in random times during my videos to cover for that. AKA the What is Love earlier. Whoops. Manga falls from her hands. Finally, she turns to
お
face me.
兄ちゃん、なんとなく気づいてたでしょ。やっぱりバレてたか。
いや、
私のアルバム見たでしょ。
いや、
めっちゃ動揺してんじゃん、見てんじゃん。
いや、見てない。見なかった。
いや、見てんじゃん、絶対見てんじゃん。
いや、旅行とかの写真だと思ったんだよ。あんな内容だと思ってなかったんだよ。
Find what in
あんな内容
there?
ってやっぱ見てんじゃん。
悪い。
Sora buries her face in the pillow and thrashes her legs. That album is Sora's darkest secret. It's just plain old photo album, except that every single picture in it is of me and only me. That is kind of creepy. That is kind of really creepy. Stumbled on it a long time ago.
出しっぱなしにした私も悪いけどさ、なんで妹のアルバム勝手に見るかな。
いや、だから、家族写真だと思ったんだよ。旅行行ったの？あの頃。
アルパカ可愛かった。
そう。お前写真撮りまくってたから、それかなって思ったんだよ。
そうですよ。撮りまくってましたよ。動物とお兄ちゃんの写真を。
みたいだな。
An awkward silence descends. She's right. I've suspected for a long time that Sora was in love with me. But since she worked so hard to hide it, I thought it'd be better to pretend that I hadn't noticed. I thought she wanted to protect our bond as siblings. So I never told her about finding that album.
もうさ、全部言っちゃうけど。
ああ。
あれはさ、現像できるやつなんだよね。
現像できるやつ？
自分でもどうかなって思って現像してないのあるんだよね。
Huh? I'm scared of Sora now! What the fuck?
なんか強烈な一枚があるのか。
一枚じゃない。
何枚くらい？
数百枚。
数百枚？
寝顔。
寝顔。寝顔？
お兄ちゃんの寝顔。
俺の寝顔？隠し撮りしてたの？
うん。
毎日？
毎日ではないけど、スマホ買ってもらってからできる限り。
No! So remember the guy I complained about the whole, like, the writer still decided to make it a sister earlier? Well, his best girl is Sora, if I remember correctly. You got, like, some... You got, like, some hidden fetish? You need to... You want to explain here? Go ahead, explain yourself. I'll give you time. You like the stalker kind, do ya? One step away from Buskwar's the addiction to yandere, eh? Who knows, maybe it's actually even that. Go ahead, do some explaining. What the fuck, Sora?
お前、もしかして、
うん。
うちに泊まりたがったの、増やすためか？寝顔コレクション。
はい。
ちょっと。
引いてるよね。
気持ち悪いな、お前。
そんなはっきり言うことないじゃん
Sora shoots up into a sitting position and glares at me. I guess that was a bit blunt. However...
受け止めるつもりだったが、想像を超えてたわ。ドン引きだわ。
だから、まあ、仕方ないじゃん。そういうやり方でしか、そう、欲求満たせなかったの。
What did you use those pictures for?
てかさ、お兄ちゃんだってあるでしょ。私の下着使っていかがわしいことしたことあるでしょ。
ねえよ、ふざけんな。
Oh, no! I thought she meant like, well, I did slander your name. But then I realized, no! She stole his underwear for that. No! No!
あんのかよ全部話せもうこの際全部話せ隠してたこと
おいよ、話してやるよ。もうやばいな、全部話しちゃったけど。
And so we spent the rest of the evening getting real. Aside from this one little thing, can't find this one big thing. I always thought Sora and I were so tight that we didn't hide anything from each other. But you know, I think this is the first time we've truly let everything bare to each other. Oh, they stripped. Just kidding. We talked for hours late into the night. Sora tells me about all the crazy stuff she did to suppress her feelings for me, including writing a passionate love letter to me and then tearing it to shreds. Apparently the reason she always wanted to take baths together was that she's been holding out hope that I'd fall for her the way she did for me. Basically, she tells me a bunch of her embarrassing stories. And in return, I'm honest with her as well. I admit to her that seeing her naked does turn me on a little bit. She yells at me and calls me a deviant, but I can tell she's kind of happy about it. What the fuck? It's gotten pretty late. It sure has. What? Help? Like, I don't feel safe anymore. Call the police. Want to help. Ah. Of course, need to use the best Kazuya ult, namely the silver suit. Like how it said in Max Combo 10, like that's anything special on Kazuya. Oh yeah, he has stick smash on that. Down smash. You know what, fuck it, let's turn on the CPU to actually fight, so I can get sauced on by a level 9 CPU. That was the wrong input. Whoops. I did say I was gonna get sauced by the CPU. Ah, fuck. Oh well. Enough of that. The joke got old. It's gotten pretty late. We kept it up right through dinner. Just reminiscing, thinking back on all the crazy shit we'd ever done and telling each other about it. After a while, we ran out of stories and confessions, so we started talking about the movies we'd seen recently or the manga we were reading. It was just pointless small talk, but we couldn't stop ourselves. Maybe it's our way of making sure we never forget about each other. But now it's gotten late, and Sora is blinking and rubbing her eyes. She never says a word about being tired, though. Our situation is precarious enough as is. And Sora's afraid that if she goes to sleep, she'll disappear while she's unconscious. Which is why I'm not suggesting she go to sleep either. The clock ticks midnight, and neither of us is willing to sleep. We munch on some late-night snacks in silence. At this point, we've both run out of things to say. Trying to fill the silence, I put on a movie. We don't talk much during the movie, only occasionally commenting on something happening on screen. Time slowly slips by. 2 a.m. Come to think of it, neither of us has taken a bath yet. But it's way too damn late for me to even think about cleaning the tub. Sora gets up to take a shower anyway, saying she wants to wash off the drowsiness before she can head to the
間に合っ
bathroom.
たわね。
Yay! Sophie appears in a starburst display of purple light. Seems needlessly flashy. Same needlessly flashy entrance as always. She made it in time. Wait, let me.
できたのか。
え？たった今ね。
アーティファクトの契約解除できる薬だよね。
ああ、そうだ。もう心配しなくていいぞ、ソラ。
よかった。
The strength drains from Sora's limbs and she slides to the ground. She did it. She held out. I'm so happy I want to hug her, but given the recent developments, I suddenly feel awkward too. It suddenly feels awkward too. While I'm hesitating like an idiot, Sophie unzips herself and spits something out onto the table. And just Sophie just suddenly like the plushie with the little stubby arms, just suddenly human arms.
うわ、汚ねえな。
汚くないわよ。失礼ね。念のために2本持ってきてあげたわよ。
これが。
Sora reaches for one of the vials and stares at it intently. The glass cylinder is filled with an amber-colored liquid. So this is ambrosia. A miracle drug that can cancel a contract between an artifact and its user. Sora doesn't have to disappear. It won't have to disappear. I'm so glad.
これって飲めば。
Sora nearly drops the vial. A thick needle came out of it, the end of it. I could have sworn that wasn't there a second ago.
まさか注射？
そうね。針の逆側にボタンがあるでしょ。体のどこでもいいからその針を刺して押すだけ。
そっか。注射か。こんなぶっとい針を。
心配しなくても体に傷はつかないわよ。
そうなの？
その注射器、アーティファクトの力の応用なのよ。つまり、肉体ではなく、魂に刺さる針。
ああ、ゴーストのあの槍と同じか。
そう。痛みはあるけれど、肉体は傷つかない。魂に直接アンブロシアを注入する。飲んでもいいんだけど、その方が早く効くの。
それで、仮死状態？
少しの間眠るだけよ。ただ、
Sophie trails off. The two of us tense up
このアン
slightly.
ブロシアはこちらの世界の人間に合わせて調整はされているけれど、以前よりもあなたたちの魂の力が劣化している可能性がある。つまり、これでもまだ強すぎるかもしれない。霊薬を使っても、ソラ、あなた死ぬかもしれないわよ。
Sora stares blankly at the vial in her hand. But after a few seconds, she looks back up at Sophie with her expression resolved. She came to a decision surprisingly quickly.
でも、使わなくても私、消えるんだよね。
ええ、そうね。
じゃあ、使うよ。それしかないじゃん。私、まだお兄ちゃんと一緒にいたいし、お兄ちゃんに、言わなきゃいけないこともあるし。
Sora turns and looks at me. There's a fierce determination in her eyes. She shed all hesitation.
よし！じ じゃあ早速注射しちゃおう。もう消えちゃうかもってビクビクするのやだ。ってわけでお兄ちゃん、お願いします。
Phrasing.
俺か。
自分でやる勇気はありません。お願いします。
よし。わかった。
横になった方がいいわよ。急に意識を失うかもしれないから。
Now she just lays down on her stomach. What? Just jab it in my butt! Oh, okay. I very much feel her fear. I don't like needles either. Like I feel mildly uncomfortable about this vaccine shot tomorrow. However,
了解っす。
one advantage. McDonald's afterwards. Sora hands me the syringe and lies down on my bed. She rolls up a pajama sleeve and stretches out her bare arm towards me.
腕にお願いします。腕に。
わかった。
お兄ちゃん、兄さん、兄上、顔が怖いんですけど。
いや、だって、なあ。
Now that I've gotten a closer look at it, the needle's practically as thick as those augers we used in art class in elementary school. It's massive. Curious, I pressed the tip against my finger. That hurts alright. But like Sophie said, it doesn't actually leave a mark. I'm not bleeding either. Right, guess it'll be safe. Probably.
空のアーティファクトはどれ？
カバンの中。
このカバン？
違う、そう、そっち。小さい方。
あった。これは私が預かっておくわね。かける？いつでもいいわよ。
わかった。よし。やるぞ。
はい。
多分、そこそこ痛いぞ。
はい。
力抜け。そのままじっとしてろよ。
待って、カウントダウンするんで。
はいはい。じゃあ、5。
私がするんで、私が言うんで、ゼロって言ったら刺して、ゼロって言ったら。
わかった。
やべえ、注射怖え。じゃあ、いくね。
ああ。
30。
長えよ、アホかよ。
10。
10でも長えな。
9、8、7、6。グリッツ
よし、そのままじっとしてろ。
おい、まだ6だろ、なんで刺した、なんで。
暴れんなって。
I hold Sora's arm in place and push the button on the syringe. There's a slight hiss and the liquid in the vial slowly trickles onto Sora.
わあ、くそいてー。
大丈夫か？
大丈夫ない。くそ痛い。気持ち悪い。
Sora goes limp, passed out. Oh, and with possibly the most unladylike expression I've ever seen. I gingerly pulled out the needle, then gently closed Sora's half-lidded eyes and mouth before getting to my feet.
大丈夫なのかこれ。
絶対に、とは言い、
今朝は落ち込んでてやばかったけど。
絶対に、とは言い切れないけれど、あんなに元気があれば平気じゃないかしら。本当に騒がしいわね、この子。
今朝は落ち込んでてやばかったけど、持ち直してくれてよかったよ。
契約の破棄には30分から数時間ね。個人差で大きく変わる。それと説明し忘れたけれど、契約が破棄されても消えた記憶が戻るとは限らないわよ。
いいさ。俺がしっかりと覚えている。
そんな前向きなあなたにいいニュースよ。
あ、なんだよ。
フードのあの子が目覚めたわ。
は？
For a moment I doubt my ears. Goes his back.
今？
ええ、たった今。
The relief I felt upon saving Sora vanishes. Now, seriously, you could have...
タイミングが良すぎる。
そうね。こちらの状況を把握していると考えるのが妥当でしょうね。
今どこにいる？
さっきの言葉、訂正するわ。たった今、すでに目覚めていることを確認できた。
すでに？
消えた人間は追跡できないから、レイヤって子をずっと監視していたのよ。空にアンブロシアが注入された直後に、レイヤにあの子からメッセージが送られた。内容はちょっと待って、翻訳中。音声だったらすぐにわかるんだけれど、文字は面倒ね。
高峰の様子は？
やっと返事が来たって喜んでいるわね。お待たせ、翻訳完了。ただの世間話を装っているけれど、こちらへのメッセージとも取れるわね。
教えてくれ。
今神社にいるそうよ。ああ、本当にいるわね。あらやだ、あの子独り言話し始めたわ。
独り言？なんで？
またよろしく頼むぜ、お兄ちゃん。
No doubt about it, Ghost is trying to provoke me. That's why she revealed herself now and sent a message to Takamine. What's more, she knows Sophie is monitoring her, and worse, she has an ally who's monitoring us as well. That's gotta be how she has all this information on us, telling us not to be in such a hurry to celebrate. Talk about twisted. However,
チャンスだな。
pull off my shirt. As I change it to something suitable for going out, I turn to Sophie.
協力してくれないか？
まさか会いに行く気？
ああ。
空を置いて？
ああ。
あなたらしくない決断に思えるけれど、一応聞きましょうか。どうしてそう思ったのか。
一つは、あいつの居場所が分かっていること。あいつその気になれば、いつでも空の能力を解除できた。このタイミングで姿を現したのは、そういうことなんだろう。だったらもっと早く解除すればよかったんだ。俺が空のことで右往左往しているうちに、殺しに来ればよかったんだ。にもかかわらずしなかった。できなかったんじゃなく、しなかった。あいつは俺を舐め腐ってる。俺をビビらせて、優位に立って、じわじわなぶり殺そうとしている。だから、今がチャンスだ。あいつが油断しているうちに、あいつがどこにいるのか分かっている。
あなた。
I flashed Sophie a bit of smile before turning to the empty syringe on the
ずっ
table.
と考えていた。どうすればこれから安心できるのか。空を不安にさせずに済むのか。そのためには、これじゃダメだ。この霊薬でアーティファクトを全て奪っても、あいつは別のアーティファクトと再契約できる。その方法を知っている。あいつがいる限り、俺たちは狙われる。それじゃダメなんだ。あいつは、再起不能にしなければいけない。そうしなければいけないんだ。
Kaku casually confessing to the fact that he's gonna commit murder.
それがどういうことか、分かって言っているのよね。
当然だろ。
そう。方法は？
俺に、アーティファクトをくれないか。あいつに対抗できる力を、俺に貸してくれ。
そうでしょうね。そう言うと思ったわ。
Sophie heaves a sigh. Right now I'm powerless. The artifact I originally bonded with still hasn't awoken. So I have to get an artifact I can use from Sophie and have her teach me how to forcibly form a contract with her. This is my only shot. I've got to persuade her. I finish changing and look Sophie in the eyes.
頼む、ソフィー。
結論を出す前に、最後まで聞かせて。
最後？
一つはって言ったでしょ？二つ目も三つ目も全部話して。
ああ、そのことか。わかった。話す。二つ目は、俺にも空の能力がかかっていること。今朝の時点で、母親に忘れられてた。多分、九条や結城の記憶からも消えてる。
フードの子は覚えているわよ。不意打ちできるかもって考えているなら、甘いんじゃないかしら。
それは分かってる。重要なのは、九条と結城の方だ。
どういうこと？協力できないじゃない。二人の記憶が戻ることを期待して、今は待った方がいいと思うけれど。
逆だ。こういう言い方はなんだけど、二人が障害になるかもしれない。
ああ、そういうこと。
Sophie picks up on what I'm implying and I nod in
九
confirmation.
条も結城も正義感が強い。特に結城は正義にこだわっていた。九条は俺を止めると思う。結城は下手したら敵に回る。何にせよ絶対面倒なことになる。 だから、今しかない。二人に忘れられている今がチャンスなんだ。
ふーん。ドライな決断をするのね。
必要だからな。誰かが、やらなくちゃいけない。
3つ目は？
あいつがこっちの状況をかなり正確に把握していること。多分、住所もバレてると考えた方がいい。つまり、家にいる間も安心できないってことだ。寝ている間に殺されるなんてこともあり得る。というか、あいつはアーティファクトの収集が目的なんだ。契約を破棄された空のアーティファクトも今すぐにでも乗り込んでこられたら、俺は空を守りきれる自信がない。
その可能性もないとは言えないけれど。
わかってる。かなり低い。あいつがアーティファクトを使って人を殺すのは、証拠を残さないためだと思う。だから住居侵入なんてリスクは冒さないはずだ。だが、もしかしてという恐怖心を植え付けられた。警戒しないわけにはいかない。あいつが生きている限りずっとだ。ビクビクしながら毎日を過ごすことになる。いつあいつは殺しに来るんだろうってな。それにあいつは、契約を破棄したと知っていても、空を狙う。自分を知っている人間を、そのままにしておくはずがないから。どうせいつかは、こっちから攻めなくちゃいけないんだ。それが今だ。今やるしかない。
納得できなくもないけれど。4つ目、あるんでしょ？カッコなんてつけず、あなたの本心を聞かせてほしいものね。
空が目覚めた時、言ってやりたいんだ。もう空に、怖い思いはさせたくない。
I stare straight into Sophie's eyes. I can't believe she saw right through me. I came up with all these logical arguments, but Sophie was absolutely right. That's exactly one reason I want to end things now. I don't want Sora to be in danger. If that means harming someone else to keep her safe, I'll do it. It's that simple. For Sora's sake, I'm going to end this here and now. It's the only reason I need.
空いた容器、返してくれる？
ああ。
I hand the syringe to Sophie. I guess this means she won't help me. I'm not going to convince her to change her mind. Start desperately casting around for another argument, but it seems that won't be necessary. Sophie unzips herself and swallows the vial along with my hand. Feel the weight of the vial disappear, and a second later comes something else falls into my palm. Surprisingly, I pull my hand back out. The syringe is gone, but something else has taken its place. A test tube, not unlike the syringe I just returned to Sophie. It's filled with a strange silver liquid that resembles mercury.
今あなたに渡せるアーティファクトはそれだけ。
There's an artifact.
その容器で休眠させているの。アーティファクトは使用者によってその姿を変えるけれど、休眠中はほぼ液体ね。この状態なら容易に体内に取り込める。
体内に？それが強制的に契約を結ぶ方法なんだな。
ええ。
Grip the test tube tightly as a warmth spreads through me. With this, I can finally fight.
ありがとう、ソフィー。協力してくれて。
もう覚悟は決めているみたいだし、魔眼を回収できるなら文句もないし。それにあなたが失敗しても、他の枝に期待すればいいだけ。ローリスクハイリターン。かける価値はそれなりにある。
God, she's so damn smug. But you know, I think this means Sophie finally trusts me. It makes me a little
取り
happy.
込む。この容器、さっきのみたいに注射器になってるのか？
いいえ。蓋を開けて飲み込みなさい。
そっか。物理的に取り込むのか。よし。
Take off the ornately decorated lid. The artifact burbles, expanding slightly. Guessing this means it's awakening from its dormant state. Down the hatch then, before this thing disappears.
ためらわないわね、あなた。ちょっと見直したわ。
The artifact sticks to my throat, refusing to go down. Choking, I suppress my gag reflex and force it down my throat. If I were in a video game, this would be the moment for bright light to envelop me, and I'd get a cool victory jingle or something. Sadly, nothing of the sort happens, but I do feel a sensation spreading through from my stomach through the rest of my body. It's as if something that isn't part of me is pouring its knowledge and will into every one of my blood vessels, slowly assimilating with me.
なるほど。こういう感覚か。
今回は使い方がちゃんと分かったようね。
ああ、それに、このアーティファクトか。なんか因果を感じるな。
大げさね。すぐに準備できるのがそれしかなかっただけよ。
とにかくありがとう。これなら、
This is the
あい
fire.
つとも十分にやり合える。
It's the fire. I returned the empty test tube to Sophie before returning to Sora. Fast asleep. I squat down next to her and stroke her hair. I'll be back soon, Sora, I promise. I'm going to put an end to everything, and then I'm coming back to you. Wait for me until then, Sora.
ソフィー、悪いが、付き合ってもらうぞ。
あなた一人で行っても帰り討ちでしょうし、協力を求めたのはこっちだし、仕方ないわね。今日は占いの結果も良かったし、付き合ってあげるわよ。
ありがとう。助かる。
せめて、都がいてくれるといいのだけど、あの子は魔眼の天敵だから。
そうなのか？アーティファクトが見えてないと盗めないだろう。
そうじゃなくて、いいわ。説明が面倒。さっさと行きましょう。
Take away her sight with her steel thing.
ああ。高坂先輩も力になってくれそうな気がするが、どうせスマホが使えない。連絡が取れない以上、一人で行くしかないな。
お人よしよね。
なんだよそれ。
一人で行くのは背負わせたくないからでしょ？他の子たちに。
そういうの分かってても言うなよな。野暮だぞ。
あなたが聞くからじゃない。
はいはい。
書き置きでもしてあげたら？起きてあなたがいなかったら泣き出すわよ。
ああ、そうだな。
I pull my notebook and a pen out of my school bag. Because I can't tell Sora the truth. It pains me to lie to her, but I'll just write down I'm making a quick trip to the convenience store on one of the pages and rip it out. I put down my pen and look over at Sora and stroke her hair again. I then get to my feet, stride out of the living room without turning the lights off. Sophie floats alongside me, matching
せ
my
っか
pace.
くあげたアンブロシア、持っていかないの？
契約の破棄が目的じゃない。それに、奪われてもしたらこっちがピンチだ。
それもそうね。
Sophie floats up and lands on my head.
おい、なんだよ。
魔眼対策よ。
うわ、なんだ？
Sophie stretches herself over my head and my vision goes black. But then a second later, it returns to normal. She can't make eye contact with that! Though it feels like there's something wrapped around my head.
おい、なんだよ。何してんだよ。
鏡を見たらわかるわよ。
Sophie's voice sounds like it's coming from right next to my ear. I obediently head to the mirror over the mirror over the sink. The top half of my face is covered by a stretched out version of the creepy plushie that Sophie manipulates. Freaky.
マスク？
そう。魔眼のトリガーは目と目が合うこと。条件が成立してしまったら、私がすぐに遮断してあげる。
Everything goes dark again. And a moment later, my sight returns. I got it
お
now.
前、変身までできるのか。すごいな。
限界だもの。思い通りよ。
ふーん。いいじゃん。ヒーローみたいだ。
本気？あなた、センス最悪ね。
おい、お前が言うなよ。
私を着こなせないあなたが悪いのよ。
はいはい。ゴーストはまだ神社にいるか？
ええ。
着いたらよろしく頼む。
任せてちょうだい。
Sophie undoes the transformation and returns to being a plain old plushie. Well, plain old plushie that floats. Now I've got both an artifact and a defense against the evil eye. I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
行こう。ソフィー、奴と決着をつける。
Honestly, gotta like this. Them teaming up like this is awesome.
まさか本当に来るとはな。
Ghost turns around at the moment she sees me
期待
approaching.
に応えてくれて嬉しいぜ、鬼。
Her eyes widen in surprise. She rose her brow for a moment, then bursts out laughing.
おいおいなんだよそのマスク、アメコミのヒーローみて。見せてくれよ、あれスーパーヒーロー着地なあ、できんだろ。
Ghost clutches her stomach and doubles it up with laughter. I just watch her outburst with cold, calm eyes. This would be the perfect opportunity for a surprise attack, but unfortunately she's still too far away. I take a few shuffling steps forward, but Ghost backs away and straightens up, looking at me.
笑った笑った。すげえなおい、どこで売ってたんだよそれ。
Stigma appears on her face and her eyes glow with a wicked light. Her eye glows with a wicked light. At almost the same time, my vision goes dark, Sophie blocking the evil eye from me. A moment later, I can see again. Ghost scoffs at me.
対策済みってわけだ。だよな。ギャグでそんなもんつけてこねえよな。石になったらどうしようかと思ったぜ。準備バッチリで来たってことはそうなんだよな。そういうつもりで来たってことでいいんだよな。
お前を止めに来た。
だよな。いいね、そそるぜ。話し合いに来たとか言われたら興ざめだ。やっとその気になってくれて嬉しいぜ、お兄ちゃん。
Ghost dons an evil grin. And a moment later, the back of her hand starts to glow. I sweep my hand to the side and a wall of fire blocks Ghost's invisible lance. Sparks dance through the air. I make a fist with my stigma-branded hand and the pillars of flame leap up around us. The artifact I'm using is the very one that belonged to the student who nearly burnt down the school. The power Kuja stole from him now belongs to me.
今回はあっさり出したな。ファイヤースターターか。かっけえな、羨ましいぜ。
As always, Ghost doesn't look perturbed in the slightest. She shoves her hand into her pocket and grins sardonically. She's underestimating me. It's true that she has more artifacts and more experience with those artifacts. Maybe it's natural. Maybe it's natural she'd look down on me. But she's not so much stronger than I have no chance at all. And on the way here, Sophie explained something to me.
ユーザー同士の戦い。特に肉体に損傷を与えられない能力を有した者同士の戦いは精神力の勝負になるわ。あなたの炎は魂を焼く。あの子の槍は魂を貫く。私のような減体は傷を負うけれど、あなたたちの肉体は痛みこそあれど傷つかない。魂の強さは心の強さ。心を強く持てば魂も揺るがない。つまりどちらが先に相手の心を折るか、そういう戦いになるわ。心を強く、何者にも屈することのない折れない心を。
You cannot lose. There's someone I'd need to protect at all costs. I can't afford to lose her, no matter how tough it gets. My flames and ghost spears are powered by our souls, our hearts. Fundamentally, they're the same power. And just now, I proved that they can cancel each other out. I can win this. With this new power, I've got a chance.
いいね。そのマスクもマジに見えてきたぜ。マジでヒーローだ。俺はヴィラン。そそるシチュエーションだぜ。一方的にやっちまうのもいいんだが、せっかくこんな力をもらったんだ。一回はガチの殴り合いをしてみたくてよ。はあ、いいね。ライバルの出現だ。待っていたぜ、こんなシチュエーション。
Ghost snickers. Then she straightens her back and glares at me. A witching light glows in her pupils.
さあ、始めようぜ、お兄ちゃん。
Behind her! Countless spears materialize out of thin air. You've got to be kidding me. She can make that many! If she fires all those off at once, there's no way I can defend against them all.
落ち着きなさい。 あれだけ派手にやれば消耗も早い。むしろ好都合よ。
I hear Sophie's voice coming from the mask. She claims that only I'll be able to hear her. I want to avoid Ghost finding out that she's here, so instead of answering, I touch my mask to let her know I
あな
heard.
たはできる限り消耗を抑えなさい。無茶をすればスティグマの侵食を早めて自滅するわよ。
Tap my mask again to convey that I understand. Fortunately, Ghost's attacks always fly in a straight line. Even if she throws 1,000 spears at me, it won't be hard to read their trajectory. Stay calm, you can handle this.
何ぼーっとしてやがる。来いよ。殺し合おうぜ、お兄ちゃん。それともビビって動けねえか？あ？
相変わらず、ペラペラうるせえよ。
She's bombed down and a pillar of fire rushes along the ground towards Ghost. Without moving a finger, Ghost fires a volley of spears at me. They blast through my flames and head straight for me. Leap to the side and form a shield of fire to block Ghost's follow-up attacks on my new position.
いいねどんどん行くぜ。
くそ。
I leap to the side again. And once again, I put up a shield of fire to block the follow-up attack.
おら！
Another hail of spears rains down. I dodge, then block. The cycle repeats itself over and over. Even though Ghost hasn't moved an inch, I've been forced to scurry all across the shrine grounds. Worse, I've been stuck on the defensive the whole time.
リーチの差がありすぎるわね。なんとかして接近しなさい。
I know that! So hold on. She can fire her spears without moving any of her limbs. Doesn't that mean she can also control the fire without actually moving anything? Or is that a thing of he just recently got it, so it's easier to, like, visualize the effect if you move your limbs or something?
おい、どうしたよ。かかってこいよ。
うるせえ。
I continue warding off Ghost's attacks as I desperately search for a way to close the distance. What I can tell, her spears don't get any weaker the further I travel. On the other hand, my flames deteriorate with range. And I can't tell if it's because I need more practice or what, but I can't even create them unless I swing my arms. There we go. On the other hand, she... This time my shield doesn't make it in time and one of the spears lances my arm. She can fire off her attacks as quick as thought, and with no warning. At this rate she'll just keep chipping away at me until I'm ground down to nothing. Sophie told me to use as little of my power as possible, but if I want to break this vicious cycle, I'm gonna have to risk playing a gambit.
特攻かよ。
I surround myself in a wreath of flame and sprint at Ghost. No matter how many spears hit me, I just grit my teeth and keep charging. Most of the spear's force is blocked by my flame armor, reducing the pain to a level I can withstand through sheer willpower. I'm charging blindly without any real plan in mind. What matters is that Sophie was right. If I can do anything, I need to get closer. The only thing I can see working is hitting Ghost with a full power flame blast at point blank range. But before I can do that...
結局やけくそかよ。くだらねえ。
Swing my arm to the side, throwing a wave of fire at Ghost, who's trying to back away.
おいおい、どこ狙ってやがる。
My flames slip past Ghost and create a huge pillar of fire behind her. One more! He's trying to close her in.
外れだ。下手くそ。
He's trying to close her in! Ghost sneers. She's probably trying to rile me up and make me lose my cool. Too bad I'm about to wipe that shit in green off your face! I ignore the barrage of spears she holds my way and keep closing in. Ghost tries to back away again, but then she realizes what's behind her. Her arrogant sneer vanishes. She's finally realized. I've boxed her in from all sides with a wall of fire. Her path of retreat is cut off. I wasn't aiming for you in the first place.
やってくれるじゃねえか。
You know from experience that if she jumped through the flames, she'd get through without taking much damage. But she doesn't know that, and she hesitates. That half second of hesitation is all the opening I need.
ゴースト。
てめえ。
I dodge her last desperate shot and charge forward, keeping my body low. You're mine now! Take this!
なんてな。
I reach out to grab her by the collar, but my hand catches only air. I'm so surprised that I trip over my own feet and crash to the ground. What the hell just happened? There was no way I missed her at that distance. She could have just she couldn't just dodged it because of the flames. And she's still gone. Did she jump through the flames, knowing she'd still take some damage? No, she didn't. She just up and disappeared. She vanished right in front of my eyes.
まさか今のが奥の手ってわけじゃねえよな。
Her mocking voice calls out from behind me. There's no way she traveled that far in such a short time.
念願のユーザー同士のバトルなんだ。もう少し頑張ってくれよ、お兄ちゃん。
Grinning, Ghost leaps into the sky. A second later, she hits the ground, directly in front of me. I scramble to my feet and swing a fist at her, but Ghost leaps backward and disappears once more. She lands 2 feet away from where she started.
お兄さん、こちらってな。
She can teleport. Just how many artifacts does this monster
さ
have?
あ、次はどうする？もうネタ切れか？
なわけねえだろ。
Pure bluff. Honestly, I'm panicking right now. Can't believe she kept the power like this hidden the whole time.
かける、もう十分頑張ったわ。今は引きなさい。
Bite my lip in frustration. Sophie's right, I've got no cards left to play. This isn't a battle I can win with guts alone. Need to close in on her or I've got no chance of winning. But given her abilities, that's impossible. No matter how close I get, she can just teleport away. My fists won't be able to reach her. I should regroup and try again after formulating a plan, like Sophie said. But how am I going to get away from someone who can teleport? Besides, this is still...
おいおい。
I'll once again wreath myself in flaming armor. Ghost lips twist into a sneer. There's a battle of wills, nothing more. What good would it do to run away? Might as well just give up now. She can summon an infinite number of spears and she can teleport. So what? If she keeps using all those powers, she's gonna run out of gas first. I just have to hold out until she's exhausted. I'll keep getting back up no matter how many times it
結
takes.
局それかよ。
Ghost sighs. Say whatever you want, but I'm never giving up. I'll batter your spirit until it
ばっ
breaks.
かりだぜ、ったく。もういいよ、お前。
Count of spears rise up from the ground, piercing me everywhere. Yeah, she doesn't have to let him appear behind her. She's capable of this! Rushing in blindly isn't gonna work. I burn away the spears embedded in me and dodge the next wave Ghost fires by running in a zigzag pattern. Something stabs me in the back, then I feel another hit and another in the thigh and shoulder. One after another, Ghost spears slam into me. She's predicting my movements. Stumbling, I manage to brace myself enough to stay on my feet. It takes every last ounce of willpower to keep us from losing
ダメ
consciousness.
ね。あの子戦い慣れている。もう無理よ、かける。
It doesn't matter if Sophie's right, I can't heed that warning. I still haven't fallen, which means I can keep going. But how am I supposed to fight back? I thought I was really cool coming here alone, telling myself it was all for Sora's sake. I was so sure that as long as I didn't give up, I could win. And now here I am, a pathetic wreck.
ちょこまか動くのはもう終わりか？あ
Ghost once again summons countless spears behind her. I've known from the start that the odds were against me. Which is why I've got to think, and keep on thinking. There's got to be some way to survive this. Some way to smash her spirit.
くだらねえ。無駄な時間だったぜ、ったく。
Ghost creates another wall of spears, this one protecting her. Think. Haven't given in yet. Haven't lost yet.
終わりにしようぜ、お兄ちゃん。
ふざけんな
Gotta buy time. I desperately shoot out a way of fire.
いいね。まだ元気じゃねえか。
Ghost vanishes along with her spears. I sense something behind me and whirl around.
反応もいいな。 いいじゃねえか、まだ楽しめそうだ。
Ghost throws her head back and laughs. Her wall of spears isn't next to her anymore. In fact, there's not a single spear around her. What does that
さ
mean?
あ、次は何をしてくれるんだ？
She summons another army of spears. I can't be sure, but maybe. What if she can't use more than one artifact at the same time? If she's focused on summoning spears, that means she can't teleport. In that
なんか
case...
ひらめいたか、マスクマン。じゃあ第2ラウンド始めようぜ。
Ghost points her finger at me. Her wall of spear tilts towards me. I kick off the ground and make a break for Ghost. Go on, attack me. I dare you!
おい、またそれかよ。ふざけんな！
That's the first time I've heard her sound angry. Ghost takes aim,
死
man.
ね、バカが！
Launches her spears. This is my
バカは
chance.
てめえだ！
I swing my right hand forward and bring forth a curtain of fire. I then thrust my left hand out and shoot a barrage of fireballs. If she wants to dodge, she'll have to erase her spears. If she prioritizes attacking me, she'll get hit by my flames too. And no matter how much I get hurt along the way, I'm not about to cancel my own powers. I'll burn her to ash. So what's it gonna be, Ghost?
やっぱバカはお前だぜ。
Yeah, she fucking faked it. She disappears. She chose to dodge, but her spears didn't go anywhere. Or the spears fills my vision. There's no time to run or guard. I cover my head, but the gesture proves pointless. The swarming spears plunge through my arm and bury themselves in my skull, ripping my mask to shreds. Sophie's presence vanishes. My whole body is skewered through. Excruciating pain assaults my brain. I can't afford to fall, I can't, but... I dropped to my knees anyway.
焦んだよな。考えることがよ。こっちのトラップにことごとく引っかかりやがる。
Ghost glares at me. I glare right back, but considering I can't even stand up, I doubt I look very intimidating.
ああ、マスクが脱げちまった。ヒーロー敗北の瞬間だな。
She creates another huge wall of
石
spears.
には死ね。のたうち回りながら死ね。
And another. The two walls of spears merge together, turning into a single wall of swords.
安心しろよ、お兄ちゃん。
She transforms all her spears into swords, making them even more
す
powerful.
ぐにそっちに。妹も行くからよ。
Some tells me her saying that was the big mistake which caused his anime protagonist powers to come in.
ゴースト
Ghost curls her fingers into her fist. Her swords all point
Jana.
towards me.
お兄ちゃん。
Her lips curl into a smirk, but just as she's about to swing her fists down, she loses her balance and stumbles. Wait, did she reach her limit? No, I think that's it. I don't think that's it. Again, she stumbles again, and this time she falls to her knees. But she doesn't look exhausted, just surprised, as if she's tripped over something she wasn't expecting. I'm so shocked that all I can do is stare blankly at her. Annoyed, Ghost slams her fists into the ground and glares at me. Why, no. Not at me, behind me!
てめえ、何しやがった！
不遜ですわね。女王を前にして図が高いですわよ。
Haruka! I know that voice!
遅くなって申し訳ありません。かける様。助っ人登場。
Turning around to see a familiar face smiling gently down at me. Korsuka. Why, she just said my name, didn't she? That means I'm no longer under the influence of Sora's powers.
俺のこと思い出して。
おかしなことをおっしゃいますわね。あなた様のことを忘れたことなど一秒たりともございませんわ。
Does that mean Sora's power never worked on Korsuka in the first place? That's unexpected. I think she'd come to rescue
かけ
me.
まして。
はい。
Take her outstretched hand and rise to
助
my
かりま
feet.
した。
どういたしまして。司令官からのメッセージで気がつきましたの。いい機会ですから少しお話でもと思ったのですが、まさかかける様がいらっしゃったなんて。運命、いえ愛がもたらした必然ですわね。
I'll explain to her that he's gonna go fuck her sister after this. Senpai giggles, then whirls to face Ghost.
改めましてこんばんは、ゴーストさん。
敵に回るってことでいいんだな、エンプレスさんよ。
コードネームでしたか？せっかく司令官からいただいたお名前ですが、それあまり好きじゃありませんの。やはりあなた方とはセンスが合いません。それにリグベータに組みすればカケル様の気も引けるかと思っていましたが、全然なびいてくださらないんですもの。ですから正攻法で攻めることにいたしましたわ。今宵はお別れを言いに来ましたの。
そうかい。
Ghost struggles to her feet, but the moment she does, a stray cat jumps out and weaves between her legs. That causes her to lose her balance once more, and she falls to her knees
あ
again.
らあら元気な猫ちゃんですこと。
くそ、なんなんだてめえの力。イラつくぜ。
Ghost's mask of composure crumbles, and she starts shouting. I'm as confused as she is. Not only was that a bizarre thing for a cat to do, it was way too convenient for us. And weird cat is what keeps tripping Ghost up. Some invisible power is preventing her from avoiding it.
カケル様、今のうちですわ。あの方はもう何もできませんから。いえ、何もさせませんから。
ずいぶんな口聞いてくれるじゃねえか。
そのようなありさまで凄まれても、ずいぶんとお疲れではなくて、万全のあなたならば無様に神戸を垂れることもなかったでしょうに。
ちんけな催眠術ごときにこの俺が。
催眠術ですか。見当違いも甚だしいですわね。
だと？てめえ、一体俺に何をした？
答える義理も義務もございません。さあ、カケル様。
Kozaka turns to face me, her skirt
あ
fluttering.
とは煮るなり焼くなり、お好きにどうぞ。
ありがとうございます、先輩。本当に助かりました。
私の力など微々たるものですわ。カケル様ならご自身の力のみで事足りたでしょうから。
There's something reassuring about that smile of hers. Sorry, didn't trust you before, Senpai. Take a step forward. It's time to end this.
もう勝った気かよ。イラつくぜ。
She launches a spear at me from her kneeling position, but I cover my arm in fire and brush it aside. Yes, she really has exhausted herself. That spear was a lot slower than the others.
終わりにしよう、ゴースト。
やめとけ。お前には無理だ。俺に触ることすらできねえよ。
いや、
あ？
飛べないだろう。空中にいること、それが発動のトリガーだろう。毎回そうだった。高坂先輩の力の影響下にある今、お前は動けない。終わりだ、ゴースト。
来るな。来るなって。
She's gonna start firing again now.
来るんじゃねえ。来んなっつってんだろうが。
そうやって怯えていたはずの子を無残に殺したくせに、今さらビビってんじゃねえよ。
Grab Ghost by the collar and yank her to her feet. I finally got you.
だっせ。お前はいっつも女に助けられてんな。
Nice. Fuck you.
ああ、そうさ。俺はただの無能だ。だが、助けてくれる人がいる。そのおかげでお前を。
どうするってんだ？え？
決まってんだろ。
Nice! Fuck her!
焼き尽くす。二度と殺しなんてできないように。 二度と俺たちの前に現れないように。お前の魂ごと灰にしてやる。
意味分かって言ってんのか。いい子ちゃんのお前にできんのかよ。
できるさ。そのつもりできた。アーティファクトを奪うだけじゃダメだ。お前はまた新たな力を求めて人を殺すだろう。九条を、勇気を、高坂先輩を襲うだろう。空を殺そうとするだろう。させない。お前を野放しにはできない。だから殺す。お前は殺さなきゃいけない。燃え尽きろ。塵も残さず灰になれ。
やっぱてめえはバカだ。
ああ、
マスクなしでどう防ぐつもりだ。俺が灰になるのが先か、お前が石になるのが先か。我慢比べと行こうぜ。
いいや、どっちもお前だよ。お前はもうアーティファクトに見放された。
Oh.
バカな。
You should probably like pull out your fingers so you could like still leave? Like, I'm pretty sure his fingers are fucking stuck. So to me, it's Ghost who's turning to stone. Her powers have gone haywire and started eating away at her. She no longer has the ability to control the evil eye.
年貢の納め時ってやつみてえだな。こうなっちまったら潔く諦めるしかねえ。
終わりだ。これで終わりだ。
ああ、終わりさ。俺はお前に殺される。気分いいだろ。他人の命を踏みにじるのはよ、最高だろ。
俺はお前とは違う。
いいよ、同じさ。おめでとう、お兄ちゃん。
Fuck all of that! Fuck all of that! Fuck all of that! Fuck all of that! No!
これでお前も人殺しだ。
Just look in the eyes. I mean, it's not my flames that that killed you. It's your very own petrification. This sure looks like suicide to me. It's over. Ghost turned to stone and crumbles to pieces. She's dead. Die.
他者を害した力で自滅。下道にはお似合いの最後ですわね。
I suppose Haruka has a point. In the end, Ghost was killed by her own artifact. But I'm the one who pushed her that far. Yeah, there's no denying it. I'm the one who... Strength drains from my limbs and I drop to my knees.
平気ですか、かける様。
なんとか。
Well, a wave of exhaustion washes over me. I don't think I can get up. I used up everything I had back there. But now no one else will have to suffer.
なんということだ。
司令官。
Takamine steps out of the shadows. He's staring blankly at the shattered chunks of stone that were once Ghost. Shit. Should have expected he'd come here!
君たち、なんてことを、何をしたのか。
ああ。
殺人犯が最後を迎えた。それだけのことですわ。
それだけ？それだけだと。
Takamina's eyes strike sparks. Are we gonna have to fight him too?
彼女は私の希望だった。私の光だった。いや、すべてのユーザーの母となる人だった。
Oh, he's crazy too then.
それを 貴様らは
Takamina's stigma appears on his
許
face.
さんぞ。私は貴様らを。
His eyes glow with a bewitching light. Wait, it can't be. Don't tell me he's also. I can't move. My body's stiffened up! And I can't look away either. I'm losing the feeling in my fingertips. The evil eye? How can he be using it? Don't tell me he's also a user of the evil eye!
血の気の多いこと。
Senpai steps in front of me. Takamina's line of sight interrupted. I'm free from the evil eye's
かける
power.
様、ここは任せてくださいまし。司令官は私が。
気をつけてください。奴の目を決して見ないように。
ご助言ありがとうございます。すぐ終わらせますわ。そして二人でゆっくりと休息を。ほら。
Senpai stumbles.
ごめんなさい、かける様。
はい。
時間切れですわ。
先輩
Her legs give out and I hurry to catch her before she falls to the ground. Don't tell me.
すみません。力が。
I know it! Holding Ghost in place, he used up too much of Kozaka's stamina.
覚悟しろ。彼女を殺めた罪。万死に値する
I averted my gaze from his glowing eye. What do I do? Both of us are out of steam. Damn it, there's only one thing I can do. I've got to beat him on my own somehow.
いえ、十分助けてもらいましたから。今度は俺が気合い入れる番です。
無茶はダメよ。あなたは休んでいなさい。
ソフィー
Sophie appears out of nowhere and floats down beside us. Doesn't really feel like the time to be resting, Sophie.
大丈夫よ。手は打った。
手を
平服せよ。屈服せよ。魔王から授けられし我が力に。見よ無知猛昧なる愚者よこれがあ
Takamina's bullshit suddenly cuts off and he clutches his eye. For a second I think it's all part of the tunic charade, but it looks like that's not the case. Sophie wasn't kidding when she said she had everything under control. She's brought reinforcements.
目が
あなたの視力を奪いました。もう魔眼は使えません。はい、ご苦労様。あとは流れ作業ね。ノア？わかっているわ。オーダー。アクティブ。パニッシュメント。
なんだ
Takamina's arms jet out to the side, straining as if he's being crucified on an invisible
はい、
cross.
上出来。さあ、仕上げよ。
Sora just comes out of the he just like stumbles backwards towards the fucking shrubbery. So he just comes out of the shrubbery.
眠っちゃえ。
With a faint whoosh, she injects the ambrosia into Takamine.
力が私
もうすぐ力も何もないただの人になるよ。理想郷とか諦めて。
バカなせっかく力を得たのに私は選ばれし者だ。
何がその力に私もお兄ちゃんも散々振り回された。もう十分だよ。特別になりたいなら一人で楽しんでてよ。これ以上こっちに迷惑かけるな。これ以上お兄ちゃんをいじめるな。
Oh fuck, let's take a screenshot of that at all. I don't know what to use as a thumbnail though. I feel like all of this is way too much spoiler. I hope no. I'm just taking a quick break. I'm probably gonna end the part soon though. Anyways, yeah, be right back. Hey, we're back. Takamine crumples to the ground. The ambrosia put him to sleep. It's over. This time it's really over. Tears in her eyes. Sora runs over to me. Thank goodness.
ソラ。よかった。本当によかった。体、大丈夫か？
それはこっちのセリフでしょ。またちょっと石になってない？
大丈夫。俺は大丈夫だ。それより高坂先輩を。
高坂先輩、大丈夫ですか？はい。ごめんなさい。リグベーダー、壊滅ね。
At Yuki's words, everyone looks down. I've realized in the previous part I've suggested warning him about this. I did not expect that he knew about it. And he was down for it. Wasn't even I'm fucking scared of her, so I'm gonna like help. It was a straight up shame moment. Anyways, yeah, there we go, it's being printed. Towards Takamine. Then towards the shattered remnants of Ghost. She's almost dissolved to sand at this point.
早く立ち去りましょう。人目につくわけにはいかない。そうですね。高坂先輩、捕まってください。ありがとうございます。
待ってくれ。アーティファクトを回収しないと。
私がやるわ。あなたたちは早く帰って休みなさい。
お兄ちゃん、行こう。
ああ。
I take Sora's hand and stroll to my fate. After one last look at Ghost, the five of us leave the shrine. The use of the evil eye has been defeated. Our city is finally safe again.
お兄ちゃん、本当に大丈夫？
ああ、大丈夫だ。
一人にしないでよ、バカ。
悪かった。みんなもごめん。迷惑かけた。
私だって。話は後日にしましょう。彼女死にそう。すみません。
そうだな。行こ
We pick up the pace. It's really over. No one else will have to get hurt. No one. It's not really over. There's still 2 games after this. It's never truly over. Just in case Sora and I are taking the day off from school today too. Fortunately, Sora's powers have completely vanished and Mom remembers us again. In fact, he's even forgotten that she forgot us in the first place. I end up spinning this story about how I accidentally gave Sora my cold, and well, Mom does yell at me about it. At least it works to get her to call us in for sick for one more day. Normally, I'm annoyed about sitting through her lectures, but this time, as I'm listening to her chew me out, all I feel is relief. Once I'm done talking to Mom, I call up Miss Nutters and tell her and let her know that my petrification has healed. In response, she says,
昨日のあれ、もしかして新見くん絡んでない？
She's a sharp one. I come up with a believable excuse to get her off my case. At Kudo's suggestion, once we left the shrine, we went to the payphone by the station and called an ambulance. When the paramedics asked us what the emergency was, we just said that we found someone collapsed at the shrine. Thanks to that, I'm pretty sure Takamine was safely picked up. But the arrival of the ambulance would have caused a stir, so I'm sure Miss Notterson had to deal with fielding questions and whatnot. I would apologize to her, but I'm not sure I should tell her everything that happened. Regardless, we've completed our mission. I can finally rest easy.
指先の咳か。すぐ治ってよかったね。
Time to put them to the test, huh? Oh, that one was bad.
ああ、そうだな。
By the time I woke up, the bits of my fingers that Takamine had managed to petrify were back to normal. And now, Sora is completely free from her artifact's curse, with no lingering side effects. Because of how hard I pushed myself yesterday, my stigma expanded from my fist, and now it goes all the way up to my elbow. Fortunately, I haven't undergone any physical or mental changes as a result. Everything's turning out okay.
なんか、やっと落ち着けるな。
ずーっと大変だったもんね。石になったり、私がおかしくなったり。
このまま解決だといいんだけどな。
そうだね。
Sora replies half-heartedly, her gaze focused on my computer monitor. I peek over her shoulder and see that she's scanning
昨
the
日の
news.
こと記事になってたりするか？
なさそう。
そうか。
Figured the discovery of a second petrified person would make the headlines. But so far, no one said a word. Even though we didn't do anything to her after she died, the ghost continued eroding away. Maybe by the time the ambulance had arrived, she turned completely to dust. I'm not sure if that's because her powers were still going berserk, or if Sophie did something to keep the incident from blowing up. Another thing that's bugging me is how come Takamine was able to use the evil eye. Was he also contracted to it? Everything should have been resolved, but I still have a few questions left.
なんか、本当に風邪だったら寝てればいいけど、健康体だと何していいかわかんないね。
まあな。今日は完全なずる休みだし、夕方まで暇だな。
When school's over, everyone's going to gather at my apartment. Sophie said she'd explain everything to us tonight. But the two of us have nothing to do until then. So, to fill the time, I give sort of the whole story of what happened while she was unconscious.
いやー、マジ、起きた時ビビりましたよ。ニーヤいないんだもん、と。
Whoops. Apparently Sora woke up not long after I left. When she saw I wasn't around, she panicked and tried to call my phone. I didn't think Sora would be able to use her phone for a while after waking up, so I left my own phone back home, which ended up being a mistake. Worried that something might have happened to me, Sora totally forgot the possibility that her powers were still affecting her and tried to call Kujo instead. Of course, the fact that she could use her phone in the first place meant that her powers' effects had vanished, but she hadn't realized that at the time. At any rate, Kujo didn't seem the last bit upset when Sora called her in the middle of the night, agreeing to start searching for me right away. Next, Kujo let Yuki know that I was missing via a group message. Meanwhile, Sora got changed and prepared to head out to go look for me. That was when she saw my note.
やべえって思ったね。コンビニかよ、マジかよって。いや、私置いてコンビニ行くのもおかしいけどさ、それより宮子先輩たちにどう言い訳するか焦ってた。
So in the end, it was Sora's panicked screw-up that saved the day. Right as she was about to text Kujo that the emergency was over, Sophie showed up. That was probably right after Ghost shredded my Sophie mask to bits. Sophie explained to Sora that I was fighting Ghost and told her to head to the shrine, which is how everyone knew to show up there to save me.
高坂先輩には連絡取らなかったのか？
ああ、慌ててたからすっぽ抜けてた。結城先輩はグループチャットで一緒に連絡できたけど、はるか先輩は入ってなかったし。
Meaning it really was a coincidence. Kozaka arrived at the perfect time to save me. I guess I could have saved myself a lot of trouble if I just waited a little longer for everyone to gather. When I did go after Ghost with a plan in mind, the plain and simple of it was that I hadn't trusted my friends enough. Who cares about friends? Let's just beat people up. We eat lunch and kill time until sunset when everyone gathers at my place. That's nice and all.
セーブ画面だよ。
I'm gonna end the party here. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you next time. Bye bye.